ABC Sport. ABC Sport.
McDonald's him and Moody. He beats one. He beats two. He beats three. He snaps. He scores. Outrageous. Kicks the left up on Ryan. Oh, that's remarkable. From the very top deck, he dragged in the mark. Oh, Liam Ryan was about to be the next man on the moon.
Hand passes to Betts. Outside of the boot, Eddie. Oh, stop it. 30 metres out.
How did he do that?
Oh, that's the best you can get.
Rioli farmed out a hand pass, intercepted by Dawson. Caught by Rioli. Good night. Don't take on a Rioli.
Trying to give him a second chance. It didn't matter because it fell in the hands of Silk Burgoyne. Silk by name, Silk by nature. That's his first.
Franklin juggled once, juggled twice, been paid the mark. Plays on. He snaps. He goes. He's got six. Bolton.
Oh, wow.
Up he goes. That is a dead set screamer. He is taking his game to ridiculous new heights.
Sir Doug Nicholls Round with Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Kaya Wanju, Nanjurup Nurukgining. I stand here with my people as we welcome you to Wajak Noongar country and to also welcome you to Dreamtime in Perth. And Noongar dreaming began thousands and thousands of years ago, and the knowledge was passed down from our ancestors through the oral tradition to our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our mums and dads, and our Noongar Buddhias from long, long ago. And they tell us about our people, and they tell us about our culture, and they tell us about our country, and they tell us about our ceremony, and they tell us that all these key things are connected to our Budja, our country, because they knew if we look after country, country would look after us. And it was our elders' responsibility of overlooking and making sure that this Dreamtime laws stayed intact. Unfortunately, in recent times, we've had some new laws and customs placed onto my people. And through that process, we had disruption to our elders and our Buddhias. We had disruption to our people. We had disruption to our culture. And we had disruption to our country. And we had disruption to our well-being. So despite all this disruption, our people's spirits are still here. Despite all this disruption, our spirit stories are still here. So our dreaming tells us of our past. Our dreaming also told us of the disruption we were going to have. But there's a new dreaming, and that's for us to make that. And I ask that you walk with us to create a better tomorrow.
Noongar elder Nick Abraham with the welcome to country. Welcome to Perth. Clint Wilden with you in commentary this evening. We sit alongside Derbyl Yirigan, the Noongar name for the Swan River, with a freeway named after one of the game's immortals in Graham Farmer, running to the north and to the east of the ground. It's going to be a packed house tonight. The 17th Dreamtime game between Essendon and Richmond. And for the second year in a row, it's a new venue hosting this game that transcends the game. From the G to Darwin and now to Perth. And after the official welcome to country, we acknowledge we're on Wujak Noongar land and we pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. The long walk with Michael Long and Gavin Wanganeen among the 6,000 people involved made its way from the WACA ground across the Madagarra Bridge to finish alongside the statue of Nicky Winmar outside this stadium in his iconic pose earlier today. And this now will be a night to remember in celebration and on field. For it's a game that pits a club that looks at long last to be on the rise against the defending Premier, now fighting to stay in touch with the top four. We're live here at the venue and great you could join us. Grandstand AFL and ABC Sport. Ben Cameron is alongside me. G'day, Ben. We've just seen something very special downstairs here at Perth Stadium.
We certainly have. Good evening, Clint. I can't wait. Our Indigenous game, we get to celebrate the Indigenous contribution throughout the years and again this evening and in this year in 2021 here on Whadjuk Noongar country. And so many great Noongar champions of our game have come out of the West, as you mentioned. Like you said, 6,000 people in the long walk. You mentioned the fact that this game transcends Essendon and Richmond and the game itself. I spoke to Xavier Campbell, the Essendon CEO, during the week, and he used that exact phrase. And you're exactly right. I mean, so many West Australians have got behind it because of what this game means.
60,000 we're expecting. There's a record for an AFL crowd of about 59,608. That was the 2018 preliminary final here. They will give that a red-hot nudge tonight here in Dreamtime in Perth. Delighted to have our experts with us tonight. Collingwood's first ever Indigenous Premiership player, Sharrod Wellingham, and on debut on Grandstand AFL 300 gamer and current Fremantle docker in David Mundy. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you. First up, before we get into the game itself, how big is this? What does this mean to both of you, and how wonderful was it to see such a spectacular light show and the entertainment in part of the pre-game for Dreamtime in Perth? Welcome, Shaz.
Clint, thanks for having us. I'm super excited for tonight. I think it's a great honour for WA and Perth to be able to host such a momentous game like the Dreamtime at the G. So I think that it's going to be a great spectacle for WA and hopefully put us in position to grab a few more games towards the end of the year if anything else does kind of pop up in Victoria. But in terms of, for me, I think it's a great pleasure to be able to be here, watch this game, call it, and I suppose the contribution that Indigenous people have made to the AFL game, but it's been mentioned, significant contribution from Noongar people. So to be hosting it here is a pretty momentous occasion.
Good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. It was very strange making my way in as a spectator this evening. The energy outside the stadium was really building. Obviously, a lot of people coming into the game, and to see the stands filling up and to be able to be a part of it in some small way is really a great thing for me. I'm really enjoying it, and having spent a lot of time playing with a lot of really great, talented Aboriginal people at Fremantle. It's obviously a wonderful occasion for WA football.
60,000, as we mentioned, expected. And despite everything else that is going on, and we should celebrate that too, there are 4 points up for grabs. The Bombers last week were spectacular in their pressure that they applied against the West Coast Eagles. They've won 3 in a row now for the very first time in Ben Rutten's reign, and they can leap into the 8 above Richmond if they win tonight. The Tigers have been, win-loss all the way right back since round 5, but they would know what's at stake as well. Pick it apart for us for the next 6-7 minutes or so. Sharrod, David, how is this won and lost? How do you stop Dustin Martin? And what are we looking forward to this evening? Gents.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. We've had a little bit of a chat pre-call, and it's going to be a game built off pressure. Dave, I know you know what it's like to play in finals, and that kind of, I suppose, intensity lifts to a whole nother level when you go out there. And I'd imagine this is probably the same kind of feeling for the guys out there playing tonight. So Essendon built their game around pressure at the moment, same as the DNA that I suppose Richmond have used for the last few years and has done them so well. So I think it's going to be contest, pressure, and I give probably Essendon the tick at the moment in that regard. The way they were able to quell... I mean, they didn't do it for the whole game last week, but they fought their way back in and were able to, I suppose, have confidence in the game style that they brought, and it was going to hold up. And I think that if they can do that again tonight, they're obviously going up against one of the greatest teams in modern era, but if they bring that pressure tonight, it's going to go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we're seeing is a bit of the Richmond DNA being transported to Essendon. Their midfield unit in particular are really flying at the moment, driven by Darcy Parish, McGrath. I'm probably missing a few in there, but it's going to be won and lost around the ball, absolutely. Who can play their style for the longer period of time will get this one.
Let's head downstairs.
Time in Perth. Over 15 years, the AFL have celebrated the Toyota AFL Sir Doug Nicholls round and the Indigenous round, and the contribution that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have made to our game. Again this year, the Richmond and Essendon football clubs together have decided they want to symbolise unity through dance and celebrate Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture. This evening, both the Essendon and Richmond football clubs will each be represented by dancers from 14 different parts of the Noongar nations who will perform a traditional Jirapan dance, a traditional dance of celebration on behalf of each team. Walla Yakai! Thank you, everyone, and to both teams, good luck.
With the Oval being in quarantine, the dancers took their places up on the steps beneath our broadcast position here on the wing. Everyone turning to watch them. Both teams now lining up here on the broadcast wing, side by side. Sir Doug Nicholls round, the logo painted here at Perth Stadium. And we're waiting the exchange of gifts between the two clubs. Essendon, we're handing over a boondi, which is traditionally used as a digging and a walking stick, while Richmond, a piece of artwork designed by Michelle Kerrin, who also designed their jump up for tonight. It's dream time with a difference because of the quarantine regulations. But as both clubs break to their respective ends, Essendon to the city end of Perth Stadium, the right of our broadcast position. Richmond will warm up at the Polly Farmer, the Graham Farmer Freeway end to the left of where we're calling from. Let's get a few more thoughts just before we see the toss of the coin and the exchange of gifts between Sharad and David. Gents.
Yeah, well, we spoke earlier around the pressure, what each side brings to the contest, but each side, both comparatively being quite poor in the stoppages clearance differential. It's going to be really interesting to see how that translates within this game.
Yeah, I was quite surprised, doing a little bit of look over the numbers, how poor they, not poor, but down the bottom end of the numbers that they've both been in. When you look at their midfields, how strong they actually are. The names that are in there, you got Martin, Cochin, Bolton. I mean, Nankervis is out, we mentioned before, but Nankervis leading them in clearances is a huge out. A lot of that responsibility does now fall on Bolton. Pretty excited to see if he can continue the form that he's been in. He's been pretty amazing form. And how does the likes of Parrish and Merritt that you mentioned, how do they stop Martin and Cochin and Bolton? I think that's going to be pretty key. Very, very excited to watch McDonald, Tip and Woody in action again. I think he's one of the excitement machines of the AFL at the moment. He's getting people through the gates. You mentioned it before how dead-eye he's been this year. I think you said 29 goals, 9 behinds. He's hitting the goals, but he's also putting that pressure on when the ball gets inside forward 50. So on the other hand, if Essendon can get the clearances and get it inside forward 50, he's going to go a long way to making sure that they can lock it in there.
So the toss of the coin coming together for the gift exchange. Marlon Pickett on behalf of Richmond, Anthony McDonald-Tipungwuti for Essendon, and the toss won by Richmond with Pickett. They'll be kicking to the city end of the ground.
Let's head downstairs. What's it like down there, Ash Nelson?
Clint, the atmosphere is electric. It's just amazing to see how sport can bring culture and community together. It's just such a wonderful celebration tonight. Sitting down here with both Richmond and Essendon fans, they are loving it. And we've got great conditions as well. There is not any rain forecasted for tonight. There's not much of a breeze either. About 17 degrees with a low of 12 degrees. As we look to the interchange for Essendon, Langford, Francis, Guelphy and Waterman. And for Richmond, it'll be Liam Baker, Cassania, Caddy and Collier Dawkins.
Dream time in Perth. So much to look forward to get us started. Here's Ben Cameron.
So Phillips and Chol. Phillips knocks it down. Prestia onto the loose footy. Feeds a handball forward to Chol. Attacking edge of the square. Thumps it long towards the vacant goal square. Bolton tracking it back. He can't quite. It bounces through. A minor score to start for the Tigers. One behind through the opening 17 seconds. Here in Dreamtime in Perth on Grandstand AFL.
That would have been some start. Out of the middle is Redmond for the Bombers. Heads towards right half back. Good mark there, taken by Cox. What can Essendon do here? There was so much excitement after last week. Can they continue on? Will the defending Premier provide too much? And the kick is a turnover from Cox. Chol again involved. Takes the defensive mark. Goes inboard and finds Edwards. Back in the team this week for the Tigers. Moves it to Martin in the centre circles. Goes to Arts by hand. Sweeping it forward. Another opportunity for Bolter. Kicks towards right half forward. Knocked down by Merritt. Got in the way for the Bombers. Handed it off to McGrath. Wobbly looking kick. Not great. Grimes is there to mark in the centre square for Richmond, who lead by a behind. One behind. The Bombers yet to score. Opening 70 seconds on Grandstand AFL.
The man they're calling the Grimes stopper goes back and finds Broad at centre half back. So much of tonight about the imitation from Essendon of Richmond style, and imitation the sincerest form of flattery.
Are they actually calling him that, or did you just make it up?
No, I've pinched that. That's why I said they're calling him. I would have just rolled it out otherwise, Shaz, as Prestia kicks forward of the wing for Richmond. Off hands, it's underneath the pack. Will get a ball up. Just forward of halfway on the southern wing for the Tigers.
Really good start by Scholl. A couple of early impacts. You get a lot of confidence from that.
Phillips knocks it down. Merritt kicks it straight into Phillips. It goes right up and down in the air. Comes down in the hands of Edwards. Handball away to Prestia for Richmond. Now Martin kicks to half forward. Low down. Rewalt comes out and marks. Just inside the centre square, attacking edge for the Tigers.
So Rewalt, he's got players free at left half forward. Doesn't glance that way. Instead, will put it into the right forward pocket. Big chance here. Stretching, unable to mark. Coleman Jones spills down. Pickett forced to do the tackling. There was a Bomber who got himself in there and made sure it couldn't come out. Nice play from McGrath. He gets up a little bit gingerly too. He sort of hurt the leg. He's remaining out there at the moment. From the tap, it's back inboard. Ham tries to gather. Prestia knocked it between his legs. Parrish picks it up, gave it to Merritt, got tackled. Ball jarred free. Graham tries to work it forward to Martin. Hands it off to Prestia. Snaps around the body. Misses, pushing it across the face. Misses to the left. Another behind to the Tigers score. He kicked it from about 30 metres out in the right forward pocket. They're two behinds the Tigers. The Bombers yet to score. 3 minutes gone in the opening term. Grandstand AFL on ABC Sport.
So Redmond with the kick-in duties. Runs up the middle. Pulls his kick to Hind in the back pocket, who pokes it short. And McGrath marks 60 out from his defensive goal at left half back. So McGrath for the Dons, kicks towards the contest on the wing. Hooker comes up. Vlosten drops the mark. Bounces back to Hooker. Parrish, his handball stolen. Bolton for the Tigers. Handball to Edwards. Handball back to Bolton. Just pushed off his kick. The pressure good. Or it wasn't. A push in the back. The free kick will come back. It'll go to Bolton, the offending party, Merritt. He'll stand the mark. 55 out. Bolton wants to go. Sends it long towards the goal square. A little wrestle is on, a free kick. It'll go to Coleman Jones. Stewart can't believe it. But Coleman Jones will go back from plumb in front. The man on the mark, 7 metres out.
danger signs early here, I think, from Richmond. They're really able to generate some ball movement through the corridor.
4 goals last week. Coleman Jones comes in and kicks the first of Dreamtime in Perth. Richmond are humming early. They're 1-8. Essendon yet to score 4.5 minutes in. Opening term on Grandstand AFL. Round 12 action. Sharad Wellingham and David Mundy.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Dave. They're just able to get a few kind of possessions inside forward 50. Obviously hit the scoreboard with a couple of behinds, but they're just locking it in there, not allowing Essendon any transitional play. So good pressure, and I think just their ability to number off really quickly is not allowing Essendon to move the ball at all.
Yeah, so far really able to access that corridor off a contest or a stoppage, and obviously dangerous moving the ball forward that way.
Coleman Jones made his debut in a Dreamtime game. Dreamtime at the G of 2019. Just his third game, though, in the AFL tonight. Great start for the Tigers. From the bounce, Chol wins it down against Phillips. Spilled the stringer, though. Kicked around the body. Bounces through the centre circles. Ricocheted off Hooley. Gave it to Chol. Now to Martin again. Busy early. Spears it inside forward 50. That was telling. And out to Mark Coleman Jones once more. Hands it off to Martin. Gets away from an opponent from 48 metres out. He misses. Missing everything to the right. No change to the score. Richmond by 8 points. The Bombers yet to score, though. 6 minutes into the first.
So Heppel in the back pocket, goes for a little run, kicks to a contest at left half back. Chol goes up, drags in the mark for Richmond. Mabior Chol looks inside 50, shanks his kick. It floats inside the attacking 50 and Cox gets back. He's able to mark for Essendon. Is this the week he gets the Rising Star nomination?
Doesn't mind grasping the ball in that one mitt, does he, Cox?
He'll kick back into the right back pocket. Laverde goes short to Ridley, the reigning best and fairest. As much as tonight is the Dreamtime game, it's for a spot in the 8 as well. There's a lot at stake. A kick to the wing, well marked by Jones. He drags it in alongside the logo. Can Essendon make this their first attacking foray?
So Jones sends it long towards right half forward. Chol front position, able to drag in the mark. He gets told to move it on. Dangerous kick, but it finds Edwards at centre half back. He'll come towards the commentary wing. Didn't quite have that much on it, but Bolton marked and then played on quickly. Kicks into the right forward pocket. Arts gathers, tackled by Redmond. Wrapped him up beautifully. Ball not coming out, holding the ball. So as he gathered, make any attempt to get rid of it? No, probably not. So the free kick was there and Redmond across the face. And the Bombers look to work it out. It comes now to Parrish. Got the kick from Stewart in the right back pocket.
Moves it on to McGrath as Essendon attack down the southern wing. He kicks to Cox. Once again, as Sharad mentioned, just holding it in that one mitt. Now drives it long towards half forward for Essendon. Up they go. No mark taken off, hands out of play. We'll get a throw in at right half forward for the Dons. No score for Essendon as yet. Richmond 1-8, 8 minutes into the first.
Richmond are just owning the corridor defensively as well, getting numbers there and pushing Essendon around the wing. So no real aggressive play.
Chol versus Phillips. The umpire unfurls. The fingertips of Phillips bounced off the back of Chol. Countered there by the Bombers. And they get a chance to come forward. They'll send it inside, attacking 50 high and involved. Good defensive back there was Grimes. Looks to play on. Goes beyond defensive 50 with the kick from Bolter. Bolter towards right half back to Graham. Moves it across centre half back. Chance here for Collier Dawkins. Glances to his left. Here's a call behind him. It's Bolter who then stabs the pass towards the logo. Graham marks, wheels around, plays on. Kicks towards centre half forward. Bolton's up and marking. Pops it inside forward 50. Going back. Cox won it down. Got a handy bit of help from Phillips. Back to Cox by hand for the Bombers. Laverde, ugly looking kick beyond defensive 50. It's still there to be won. Chol looks to gather. Picks it up. Goes on a run to 51 out. Kicks towards the top of the goal square. Martin! He marks there for the Bombers. If he'd wanted to, there was Caddy running by. Martin decides he'll go back and have a shot. He'll be kicking from better than a 45-degree angle from about 30 metres out.
Scholes just started this game like a house on fire. Not only getting some clearance hit-outs, but also just gathering the ball at will.
Can you tag a ruckman?
Dustin Martin sends his kick on its way. He puts it through for the Tigers' second. It's all Richmond early stages here. Dream time in Perth. 2-2-14. The Bombers yet to score. 10 minutes gone in the first term. Ashley Nelson's on the boundary.
Yes, Essendon's Andrew McGrath's just headed down into the Roos with what looks like a hamstring injury. I'll keep you up to date, but not good signs for him.
Happened in that, very early play. Seemed to get up from the contest and really didn't look to be comfortable at all.
I thought it might have been a corky, but if he's going off, it might be maybe a landing on an ankle or something. Might need to be restrapped.
Yeah, he didn't look very comfortable. He came straight off after the incident on this nearest wing.
And, yeah, just watching the replay now, it looks like his ankle may have just got caught under an opponent.
Dustin Martin, the only Julia Euchen award winner, which is the best of field in the Dreamtime game, and he started well in the middle. Pickett in the ruck, opposed to Phillips. Phillips misses it. Here's Dusty right on cue. Kicks Richmond to half forward. Edwards juggles it. Can't complete the mark. Plays some tunnel ball. Throws it away. The umpire eventually calls it incorrect disposal. A free kick going the way of the Dons. It'll be Ridley who has it at centre half back. Kicks laterally. Finds Hind. Great user of the football. He pokes it out wide to Merritt, who has it just backward of the wing on the southern side of Perth Stadium. 2-2-14 plays, no score, 11 minutes into this opening term.
Merritt moves it short to Langford, who marks. The inboard kick to Merritt, back to Langford, gets away from Bolton, runs past the logo, southern wing, kicks inside forward 50, Jones leading out and marks for the Bombers. And as far as Essendon goes, just their second inside 50 of the game so far. Will Jones be able to go back and kick the major? Desperately needed, even at these early stages.
Well, that was the first time tonight Essendon's been able to generate mildly fast ball movement off a bit of a play on the wing, so able to generate that ball movement to get to a point one-on-one in their forward line.
Hugely talented 20-year-old, 14 goals, 4 for the season. Here comes Jones, boots across the 50. He's in line with the right hand behind post, and that's about where the ball goes too. He misses to the right-hand side. A minor score, but the Bombers are on the board. Richmond 2-2-14, Essendon 1 behind, 12 gone in the first.
Short to Vlosten, who goes right up the middle to Edwards here for the Tigers. His kick is Shocker. Martin slips over, getting back Francis. Under pressure, taken to ground by Martin. They're on top of him. The umpire circles, and umpire Margette says we'll ball it up. 45 metres out from the Tigers' goal. Umpires Margette, Staglish, Johansson in charge of this one. Puts it aloft. Margette's knocked down by Coleman Jones, but Parrish with the clearance towards the wing for Essendon. Guelphy's taken down in a tackle. Pickett comes through for the Tigers. Knocks it in the path of Bolter. Handball away to McIntosh. To Cochin. Kick smothered. Well done, Guelphy. Out of play. We'll get a throw in between wing and right half forward for Richmond. They're 2-2-14. Essendon 1 behind. Almost 13 minutes into this opening term on Grandstand AFL.
Tigers champion Dustin Martin requiring a change of boots a short time ago. Thrown back in. Phillips takes clean possession. Hand passes to Langford for the Bombers. Now moves it to Ham to Parrish. Through the centre square. The kick is towards centre half forward. Went straight past Bolter. Chance here again. Hooker involved. Oh, Guelphy tackled beautifully. McIntosh got him. He gets pinged for a throw. Looking to get rid of the football. Great tackle from McIntosh, and the Tiger will have the ball in his defensive 50 in the right back pocket. Richmond lead by 13 points. 13 gone in the first.
A bit of a dodgy kick from McIntosh, but Short is able to pick it up. Chips it short, and Caddy marks. Just on that, David, the change of boots for Dustin Martin. Is it a harder, slipperier surface here at Perth Stadium?
Yeah, it's certainly slippery, especially these night-time games. The dew really settles on the grass quite quickly.
Grimes turns it over across half-back for Richmond. Parrish marks. Handball away to Hooker. Back to Parrish on his left. Kicks inside 50. Dropping back. The mark taken by Ham. 45 metres out on slightly better than a 45-degree angle to the left-hand side.
Still wouldn't be able to chuck on the old steel caps, though, can he?
No, I don't think you can go that
Not
long.
allowed to wear them anymore, are you?
No, the Steels, yeah, not since a couple of years ago.
So Bradenham trudges in past the arc of 50 onto that left slipper. It's a good-looking kick, and he gives the Dons just what they need. Is that a little heart starter for Essendon? They're 1-1-7, Richmond 2-2-14, quarter hour mark. Opening stanza in Dreamtime in Perth. Jared Wellingham, David Mundy.
Yeah, it was a couple of times so far that Essendon have been able to generate some ball movement, some kick mark through the middle of the ground without having to go to the contest too early. They've generated a couple of inside 50s and scoring shots. So if they can keep that up from stoppages and from contest, that'll really put them within this game.
Beautiful finish as well. Would have been 45-degree angle, 45 out. Beautiful kick. McGrath's come back from the change rooms as well. Looks like he's sitting on the bench, ready to go.
Been 2 and a bit years since Richmond have come to Perth, so perhaps a lack of experience at the ground in recent times may have been the reason for the choice of footwear. As Chol wings it down, gave it to Prestia, worked it forward to Edwards, might have been bumped high, and then a turnover. Chance here for Essendon to get right back involved. Langford shares it quickly. He'll get it again on the centre wing. And then gets tackled by Pickett. I thought that was after he was taking the mark, but umpires say it's okay. So Langford looking to move it forward again. He'll kick with the right. Heads towards centre half forward. Good battle on up there at the back. Hooker unable to mark. Umpire has spotted it in front. It's been given to Bolter at front position. Dangerous kick. Almost turned it over to Waterman. Lucky. Baker was able to scoop it up. Gave it to a fellow Tiger on the bounce. Sincati gets it back at left half back. William Baker kicks down the outer side. 2-on-2 battle. Strong mark. Comes the way of Arts and he moves it in again. This is with Graham. Now to Prestia through the middle. Sweeps the hand pass. Chance for a good run here from Short in towards the right forward pocket and up and marking his Pickett. The West Australian in his first game at Perth Stadium will go back and he looks like he wants... No, he won't have a shot. He cheekily sees an option to pop it forward to Revolt. And Revolt marks about 40 out from goal, but he's hard up against the boundary in the right forward pocket.
Poor focus by Essendon defenders then. You can't have Revolt roaming around to the forward 50 without someone on him.
30 goals, 13 for the year. 10 times their leading goal kicker. Jack Revolt. Boots cross the 50, a metre in from the boundary, and he misses to the right-hand side. Miners scored 2-3-15. The Tigers, 1-1-7 the Bombers. Ash Nelson's on the boundary.
The medical sub has been enacted. Andrew McGrath out with a foot injury. Patrick Ambrose coming into the game for Essendon.
Paddy Ambrose in good form. Kicked 5 in the VFL a fortnight ago. Long kick from Stewart to the wing. A free kick. It'll go the way of Richmond. And Vlosten will take it on the logo. Kicks Richmond back towards half forward. Essendon have the numbers. Stewart drops into the hole and takes the mark. So Stewart, virtually from where he kicked it from when he sent it to the wing, he does so again to alongside the logo. A pack forms offhand. Stringer knocks it on. Hooley gets it for Richmond. Handball to Broad. Under pressure. Handball to Collier Dawkins. Now Vlosten opens up here for Richmond. He kicks into the middle of the ground. Edwards marks. Runs a little arc. Chisels it inside 50 and spots up the chest of Castagna. Well worked by Richmond. They got it to the outside and a class delivery inside 50 from Edwards.
Some of these inside 50 deliveries have just been outstanding.
There's been some silver service, hasn't there?
It certainly has. Used to seeing that off your boot.
Makes it a lot easier when you're coming through the corridor. You have the whole forward 50 to kick to. Makes it really difficult for the defenders.
So Jason Castagna, 10 goals in his 11 games so far this season. From 47 metres out, he nails it. Richmond extend their advantage. They're 3-3-21. Essendon 1-1-7. 19 minutes travelled in this opening term on Grandstand AFL. Dreamtime in Perth. Clint Wilden, myself, Ben Cameron, Sharad Wellingham and David Mundy.
They just seem to have the damn wall set up across their kind of centre back, don't they? It's just turning over every time, and then, like you said, they've just got numbers through that corridor, setting up defensively, which is enabling them to kind of bounce straight off that. And like you said, when you get a ball in the middle of the ground, you've got the whole 50 to work with. It's pretty hard to stop any midfielder coming in really nice and open like that.
Yeah, off those turnovers, they're working really hard back to support their defence, but then breaking to the open side of the ground and generating their ball movement from there.
0437 774 774 if you'd like to send us a text. From the bounce, Chol wins it down for Richmond. It came to Parrish, though, of the Bombers. Tried to hand pass it to Merritt. Couldn't get to him. Pickett looked to steal it away. It'll end up in the hands of Cox, though, for Essendon. He'll kick into the right forward pocket. Going back, Waterman has to battle with Baker. Baker slapped it away from him and then saw it over the boundary line for a throw-in. 60 out from Essendon's goal. The Bombers kicking to the Graham Farmer Freeway end at Perth Stadium, the left of our broadcast position. Just headed into time on in the opening term. 3-3-21 Richmond, 1-1-7 Essendon. Under umpire puts it back into play. Chol took clean possession. Hand pass straight into traffic. Picking it up here is Cox. Couldn't get a clean kick away. Cochin gathers. Hand passes back. Moves it on. And then Grimes beyond defensive 50. And then sliding back Redmond. Takes a nice mark. He's just inside the commentary edge of the centre square, and he'll put it back inside forward 50 for Essendon. Big pack underneath it. Punch came at the back from Grimes. Bounced away from Pickett. Baker for the Tigers could pick it up. Hand pass back again to Hooley, who can take a bounce and then send it beyond defensive 50.
Hooley's kick chopped off by Ridley. Knocks it down in front of himself. Gets a handball away. Hooley comes back over and knocks it out. We'll get a throw in 47 metres around from the attacking goal for the Dons. Of course, Basher Hooley, formerly at Essendon, 26 games for the Dons. Umpire spins it back in. Cox and Chol. Chol brings it down in front. Parrish goes after it. Able to extract it. Cochin. He kicks towards the wing. Bouncing ball. Ridley again. His handball stolen there by Graham. And then the kick from Prestia. Chopped off by Laverde. Kicks back to half forward for Essendon. And Chol is there. So Mabior Chol with that almost Richmond sash in his head. He has it at left half back.
He's been tremendous tonight. Kickers down the southern wing. Defensive mark taken here by the Bombers. Laverde will move it short. This is with Parrish. Outstanding last week against the Eagles. Kicks Essendon inside forward 50. Brought at the back. Punched it down. Came to Prestia. Got it to Hooley for the Tigers. Hand pass went awry. Langford scoops it up. Sends it back inside forward 50. Again the Grimes fist. Sees it beyond the defensive 50. And then a ball up is going to be called here with Cox gathering and tackled immediately by McIntosh. 55 out from Essendon's goal. Right half forward for the Bombers. Throwing aloft again. Cox went up and won it down, but straight to McIntosh of the Tigers. He was tackled by McDonald, Tip and Woody. That's holding the ball. Langford will throw it right back, and Cox, the other player in that tackle, has been given the footy. He'll move it short. Finds Langford. 51 out from goal. Pops it inside forward 50 and Parrish marks. 40 from goal, but hard up against the boundary in the right forward pocket. It's going to take the 30 seconds available to him. Leads all comers in terms of disposals. Has had 9 so far tonight. 5 kicks and 4 hand passes. Big kick for the Bombers this. Parrish from 45 out. Looked all right. Just hits the right-hand goalpost on the way through. Minor score. 1-2-8 to 3-3-21. It's still Essendon trailing Richmond. 23 gone in the first term.
Hooley short to the pocket. Baker kicks long towards the wing. Dropping in and taking the mark for Essendon. Langford kicks back into the middle of the ground. Merritt. Handball away to Hind, who kicks inside the attacking 50. No mark taken initially. Bolter drops it. Chol knocks it out along the ground. Pickett gathers. Handball to Prestia. Tried to bounce off half-back the Tigers. Castagna, Cochin, all of this through hands. Bouncing in front there of Graham. He kicks towards Martin. Martin comes up and marks. 60 out from goal. A few little subtle hand gestures. Looking for a lead. Goes towards Arts. He can't mark it. Ball at ground level. Coming through Pickett. Handball chopped off by Ridley. Essendon try and escape. Parrish kicks beyond the defensive 50.
Short marks. He's got it for the Tigers at left half forward. Sends it towards Hawley. Knocked down away from him by McDonald, Tippin Woody. And then his hand passes awry again. Martin's there for Richmond. Hand passes back to Chol in the centre square. His kick knocked down by Parrish. This has been an ugly 30 seconds or so. Parrish goes up the corridor and Grimes marks defensively for the Tigers. Trots back across the defensive edge of the centre square for Richmond. Finds Cochin. And Cochin's foot passes out towards right half back where Baker marks. Just put the last 40 seconds before that in the bin as Baker moves it back inboard to Grimes, who has to mark despite some attention coming his way by Stringer. We'll come back to Cochin about 5 metres in from the boundary beneath our broadcast position. Short pass again. This is Graham now as the Tigers start to build up patiently here, and they still lead on the scoreboard by 13 points.
So Graham thumps it long towards a contest. Coming over the top, Phillips can't mark. Castagna roves, floats it towards full forward. Rewald in best position. And he marks on his chest. 20 metres out. A 30-degree angle to the right-hand side.
This is going to be an absolute coach killer of a goal because it's off the back. I mean, it's easy from up here, but Stringer needed to make a contest in that one-on-one against Grimes because he had 4 Essendon players getting to the contest, and it was going to be an easy, well, you'd think an easy goal, but he just had to create a contest. Not enough from him, and then it just goes all the way up the other end of the ground and Rewalt lining up.
In the jumper, he helped design. Rewalt comes in and puts it through the middle. 4-3-27 Richmond. Essendon 1-8, 19 points. Late in this opening term here on Grandstand AFL. Dreamtime in Perth.
And an absolute crumbing masterclass from Castagna on the junction down here. Bit of the Richmond model, really. Just win the ball, get to the chest and get it forward, and stars on every line. Jack Rewalt gets it done in a one-on-one.
As I mentioned, Jack Rewalt worked on this jumper design along with his teammate Shane Edwards. It tells the story of connection and growth, both of theirs since arriving at the club in 2006. The famous yellow sash is a gum leaf, which in every Dreamtime game, Rewalt would be handed that by Wurundjeri elder Auntie Joy Murphy, and he'd place it in his sock for good luck. So that's the story of the Richmond jumper today, helped designed by Jack Rewalt.
Quarter time. It's been pretty much all the Tigers. 4-3-27 to Essendon 1-2-8. And the goal kickers for Richmond, Martin, Rewalt, Castagna and Coleman Jones, while for Essendon the one goal from the boot of Braden Ham. Three-quarter time, 4-3-27 to Essendon 1-9. Results earlier today, Collingwood got home against the Crows. The Magpies getting up by 5 points there in an absolute thriller, 12-6-78 to 10-13-73. And in the other result today, a little bit earlier on, things started at the SCG, where Sydney by 9 points against St Kilda, 13-14-92 to 12-11-83. Our thoughts with Jack Higgins after 1 goal, 6 for the game. He would be, well, just ruining those missed opportunities for the Saints earlier today. Quarter time, the Tigers 4-3-27, Essendon 1-2-8. If you'd like to get in touch, 0437 774 774. We'll read out some of your texts in just a moment, wherever you're listening on ABC Radio and ABC Grandstand Digital. This is Grandstand AFL.
Open your ears to the world with the ABC Listen app. Australia's best scientists and comedians join forces in the pop test.
Sorry, we're being told that our science show is getting too nerdy, so...
Join Triple J's Hobber and Hing as they challenge Aussies to deliver their most elaborate yarn in Simply the Jest, or tackle all the mayhem in the sporting world with Roy and HG in Bludging on the Blind Side.
How do you go with the maths thing?
Oh, I'm not going to question the maths.
No.
I'm going to accept it.
Download the ABC Listen app today. For the latest sports results and stories from around the globe and at home, check out ABC Sport on our social pages. Just search ABC Sport wherever you scroll.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season.
Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Bolton wants to go. Sends it long towards the goal square. A little wrestle is on, a free kick. It'll go to Coleman Jones. Stewart can't believe it, but Coleman Jones will go back from plumb in front. A man on the mark, 7 metres out. 4 goals last week. Coleman Jones comes in and kicks the first of Dreamtime in Perth. Richmond are humming early.
Scholl looks to gather, picks it up, goes on a run to 51 out, kicks towards the top of the goal square. Martin decides he'll go back and have a shot. He'll be kicking from better than a 45-degree angle from about 30 metres out. Dustin Martin sends his kick on its way. He puts it through for the Tigers' second.
Parrish marks, handball away to Hooker, back to Parrish on his left, kicks inside 50, dropping back, the mark taken by Ham. So Braden Ham trudges in, past the arc of 50, onto that left slipper. It's a good-looking kick, and he gives the Dons just what they need. Now Vlosten opens up here for Richmond. He kicks into the middle of the ground. Edwards marks, runs a little arc, chisels it inside 50, and spots up the chest of Castagna. Well worked by Richmond. They got it to the outside, and a class delivery inside 50 from Edwards. So Jason Castagna, 10 goals in his 11 games so far this season. From 47 metres out, he nails it. Richmond extend their advantage.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season.
Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Dreamtime in Perth, and always good to have your company wherever you are listening around the nation. Pete from Hanson, g'day to you, Peter. Go the Blues tomorrow, he says. Listening to the commentary, it's always good even when the Blues are not winning. Thanks for getting in touch with us. To Rob and Sal, camped on the Murray River near Ned's Corner, loving the call by the campfire. That is a very good way to be spending the evening, I would reckon. G'day to you, Rob and Sal. Bill asks this: how ordinary do the Bombers look? ? The Tigers are owning the centre of the ground. And Dan asks a question that I don't have the answer for. It's an Essendon home game, nominally, being the Dreamtime game, of course. So why are the Bombers wearing their white shorts? That's a good point. I can't help you out with that, but a very good question. We'll see what we can find out for you. Sharad, David, what have you made of things? First quarter gone on Grandstand AFL.
Well, Richmond's just, I suppose, set up really well behind the play. We've just chatted off there, and it's been an intercept and turnover goal game. So all 4 of their goals have come about from turnovers. So I don't know what Essendon can really do, if they need to ramp up the run and carry or try and, I suppose, change their tact in the way they want to try and exit the defensive 50. But, yeah, I'm just not really sure where they're going to get that from. Yeah, Nathan Hines, so he might be the one who can try and run and carry, but it's just not working for them at the moment. But, yeah, interesting to see what they can do to change up.
Absolutely. If Essendon are trying to generate that ball movement off the half-back line, there's none better than Nick Hine. Not many will catch him once he gets his head of steam up. He's a very, very fast man, but we've seen both passages of play where they've been able to generate that faster ball movement through the corridor. They've been able to get better looks forward.
Great start from Scholl. I think we mentioned him pre-game. I did say he started like a house on fire. He's got, what's he got possession-wise? He's got 8 touches. He had a shot on goal. But he was just moving around the ground really well. He was one of those ones who was set up behind the ball, impacting a couple of contests, and a really good start. And then obviously Martin just doing what Martin does.
Yeah, Scholl really influential with a couple of really big contests down the line as well. And when you can rotate Martin, Cochin and Prestia with Bolton, Edwards, Graham, I think you're going to be on a roll.
Yeah, 3 inside 50s as well from Abiel Chol. Just the general numbers. Richmond owning the football, 102 disposals to 74. Inside 50s, only 13 to 11. Leading ball winners, Darcy Parish with 12. He's got a lot of it lately, and Dustin Martin, Jack Graham, and also Dion Prestia with 9 leading for the Tigers.
Tigers lead by 19 points, second term underway. And the clearance comes the way of the Bombers. Jones couldn't mark, hacked forward. Zaharakis inside forward 50. Hooker tries to shovel it forward by hand. Hams looks to pick it up. Hooker does so. Just threw it by hand. And what I mean that, not a throw, but threw the hand at it, punched it forward. The Tigers are able to mop it up, though. And now Bolton will go surging down the southern wing. Moving it short to Collier. Dawkins has to stop and backtrack. Goes short to Caddy. Caddy kicks the Tigers towards Castagna, who's up and marking a metre in from the boundary. He's at right half forward. He'll trot back to assess the option. Leads come. Castagna will put it into the right forward pocket. Revolt, front position. Spoiled down by Francis. Spills out to Edwards. Back to Revolt. Hard up against the boundary. Will look to tumble it through. Touched on the line. Hams was there in the moment of need for the Bombers. It's just a minor score. 4-4-28 plays 1-2-8. Richmond in front. Minute gone, second quarter.
Heppel brings it back in. He finds Langford at right half back. Fourth in the best and fairest last year, Langford. Kicks a low ball towards Phillips on the wing. Chol there with him. Down in front, McDonald, Tipham, Woody, Rose. Handball to Merritt. Essendon down the northern wing. Finds Stringer. Sidesteps Floston. Comes central. Looks towards Hooker. Kicks in that direction. Hooker juggles. Hooker marks. Knocked it up in the air and then was able to grasp it. Diving back towards goal as he went to ground as well. 20 metres out, slightly right of centre. Cal Hooker can go back with the set shot.
Only a small thing, but just Stringer's, I suppose, mentality to play on at that mark up the wing. Just catches the Richmond defenders off guard. It only takes out half a second.
26 goals in this campaign for the defender. Come forward. And he adds another. Essendon get the first of the second term. They're 2-2-14. Richmond 4-4-28. A couple of minutes into this second term on Grandstand AFL. Sharrod Wellingham and David Mundy.
And just to expand on Sharrod's point, Stringer's ability to cut back inside and make that tackle and miss, gain another couple of metres, then puts Broad in a really ordinary position as the defender forward of the play. And a really nice kick to a big man, Cal Hooker, who does what he does best and puts his big mitts around the ball.
Love to see Langford, who got the kick in off, I think it might have been Parish or Heppel who kicked it in. He just hesitated, and if he had played on, that play could have happened earlier, but just a little bit too much hesitation.
Dan, I asked the question to the Essendon media team, and they've responded with one for the AFL. So I've sent a text to the AFL. We'll see if we can find out for you. I promise nothing. Tap was one down in the middle by Phillips, and then went a second time, tapped it out, but Martin was there for the Tigers. Scoops it up and then spears the pass into the chest of Castagna. He'll pop it short again. Speaking of popping it short, he finds Prestia. Prestia moves it back inboard. This is Broad, almost gets run down, but gets the kick away, long towards full forward. And then a big crashing mark. Has it been paid to Coleman Jones? It has. He came from a long way back. I wasn't sure if he'd been able to drag it in completely. But he ended up with it after emerging through a pack of about 6 players. Juggled it. Was it touched on the way down? That's the question.
May have touched a few heads, I believe.
Yeah, might have also touched Phillips too in front. Nevertheless, he has a chance to kick his second. Callum Coleman-Jones. From just to the right of centre, from 25 metres out, he puts it through. He has got to. And the Tigers get a quick response. 5-4-34 Richmond. Essendon 2-2-14. 4 gone in the second term. Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital. Our experts tonight, Sharrod Wellingham and David Mundy.
Yeah, whilst we might have been the only people here not to touch that ball, I'd hate to be an Essendon defender at the moment. Richmond moving the ball forward are really lacing up some targets and making it really difficult. Getting a really great presentation from their high half forwards and from that able to move the ball forward at will.
They also just look to be crashing the contest and creating contests in good spots inside their forward 50.
If I was Andrew Phillips right now, I would be feeling desperately, desperately unlucky. There is no doubt, having watched that replay now a few times, that he's got the first touch on that. And then there's a few more heads on the way down too.
Phillips and Scholl in the middle. Phillips down towards Parrish. Parrish leaves it behind. Phillips goes again. Handball to Merritt. Handball to Langford. Back to Merritt. He'll get on that left leg. Goes inside the attacking 50 in the hooker direction. Bolter does well. Gets a hand on it. McDonald, Tipperwoody. Zigging, zagging. Handball to Cox. Runs in. Snaps on goal. Hits the belly of the ball. Floats it across the face of goal. And off hands. It's out of play. Geez, it was exciting. 200 centimetres, runs like the wind. We just needed the finish. It wasn't to be. A boundary throw in right forward pocket here for the Dons. Richmond lead by 20 points early in the second.
Scholl went. Hooker didn't. Stayed down. Gathers the football. Pops it out to Tipperwoody. McDonald, Tipperwoody. Quick hand pass to Waterman. Onto Parrish. Works it forward. Now to Hooker. Looks to bounce it towards goal. Broad back there like the goalkeeper. Gathered it at his chest. Kicks beyond defensive 50. Revolt thought he was being held, and so too did the officials. It's against Francis, who was less than impressed. Almost locking arms, but yeah, Francis did have the arm around the back of Revolt's neck, and so he'll move it short to Caddy. And Caddy from left half back for the Tigers. Kicks down the commentary wing. Up in front position was Phillips. Came down the back. Chance to move it forward again. Comes to Waterman. Waterman tackled by Scholl. Ball spilled free. Picked up off the deck by Heppel. Slapped down by Phillips. That was inventive. Comes out again to Langford. Langford got it from Laverde, and then Langford kicks towards right half forward. Big punch on the footy. Bolter in the middle of about 5. Only wanted the boundary line. He saw it over too. It'll be a throw in at right half forward for the Bombers, who trail by 20 points. Richmond a 5-4-34. Essendon 2-2-14. 7 gone in the second on Grandstand AFL.
Mabior Scholl doing it all in the ruck here opposed to Phillips. Doesn't win the tap though. Scholl, Phillips does. Down to Langford. He's tackled immediately. They roll around and eventually the umpire will ball it up. 60 out from the attacking goal for Essendon at the city end of the ground. Scholl and Phillips again. Phillips hooks it down. Edwards gets it. Has it stolen. Picked up by Hines. Kicks inside 50. Looking for Hooker. Picks it up close to the boundary. Gets it off to Perkins. Handball away, and eventually Bolter is able to swoop on the loose footy and kick Richmond to the wing. Lands on its point. Tumbles end over end. Picking it up, Heppel. Handball to Laverde. In trouble. Bolton's got him. Holding the ball. Richmond take the advantage. Run into trouble. Laverde makes amends. Gives it back to Merritt. Essendon come back the other way through Langford.
Langford gets it on to Perkins. Now to Merritt through the centre square. Kicks inside forward 50. Up, Cox marking. And he's told by all his teammates, go back and take the shot. Might have wore one on the way down too. 30 seconds the Tigers would like to have back, I think.
Interesting play on. Was it Graham who took the advantage there? Interesting decision.
This will be interesting too as Cox goes up to take the mark. Boston comes in from the side. No, there's no contact with the head there. He's just made solid contact body on body, attempting to spoil.
Which foot does he kick his set shots with here? Extremely ambidextrous.
And extremely tall and extremely skilled. From the right foot, Cox sends it on its way. And there's the commentary curse. It's absolute finest, David Mundy. You'll get to see that a bit. He's missed to the left-hand side. Minus score, 5-4-34 the Tigers, 2-3-15 the Bombers, 8 gone second term.
Was his right foot, maybe the wrong foot on this occasion as Richmond move it down the southern wing. Bolter going for a little run. Kicks to half forward in the Rewalt direction. Can't complete the mark. Pickett shovels out a handball. Martin gathers. Tries to don't argue. Merritt says not today. It ricochets away to Phillips. He's tackled by Martin. Has it knocked out of his hands. Shoveled away by Coleman Jones. Rewalt snaps. Hits the post. It was all happening in the right forward pocket for the Tigers. Rewalt just couldn't quite finish it. 20 points the Tigers advantage. 9 minutes into the second.
Bombers move it towards right half back. Guelphy was able to bring it to ground. Spilled down. Chance now for Ham. Ham moves it again to Stringer. Got slung Almost 360. Hand pass was away, but Chol intercepts. Gives it to Bolton. Now to Baker for the Tigers. Kicks into the right forward pocket. Didn't have enough on it. Francis with the defensive mark. And he'll pop it out towards the right back pocket where Heppel will mark and play on.
So Heppel, he moves it on to Guelphy. Just forward of the logo, northern side of the ground here for Essendon. 20 points, Richmond's lead. Guelphy draws the man, gives it to Merritt by hand. Merritt now in a pickle. A little bounce. Handball back to Guelphy. Look out, Guelphy run down. Art's got him. And Guelphy was taking too long, so Richmond get it back at left half back. As Arts comes inboard to Prestia, gives it off to Short. Kicks long to Castagna. Castagna marks just forward of the wing and comes inboard to Hooley.
Hooley, it's open in front of him. Drags a player towards him, sweeps the hand pass over the top. It came to Graham, back to Hooley. That's clever. Just measured the kick, caressed it to Revolt, who marks in the left forward pocket about 40 from goal. I thought about playing on quickly again to Hooley as if to say, you can have this one back, but no. Jack surely would like his chances. He'll be kicking from just inside 50 when he puts boot to ball. He'll start about 5 metres in from the boundary at left half full. Tigers lead is 20 points. Jack Revolt comes in, looks for his second. We're right behind the kick. It's beautiful to watch. He punches the air to celebrate, and then it's high fives all around for the Tigers. They've got their sixth. Revolt has two. 6-5-41. Essendon 2-3-15. 12 gone in the second term on Grandstand AFL. Dreamtime in Perth on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital. Our experts David Mundy and Sharad Wellingham.
Well, that shot was almost a mirror image of one he missed in the first quarter. Long 45 from the 50, and he's made this one count. That's his fifth scoring shot of the night as well. Looking really forward, really dangerous up forward tonight, Jack.
And he had that one touched on the line, that dribble kick as well, which was going straight through the middle. So, yeah, he's definitely seeing the middle of the goals pretty well.
Can he get to 700 tonight becomes the question as well. 696 career goals for Jack Rewalt. Wouldn't that be something? As Francis slaps it down from the restart. Parrish fights after it. Handball away. Picked off by Hooley. Now coming off the wing, Cox. His handball goes to Hooley. Richmond come the other way through McIntosh. Kicks from the logo to half forward. Going up Francis. He can't take the mark. Arts tracks after the footy. He's gang tackled. Handball to Pickett. Handball to Collier Dawkins. He looks inside 50. Sets it up towards full forward. Down there is Caddy. He can't mark. There to rove is Graham. One way, then the other. Chips it short backwards. And Arts is able to mark 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle to the right-hand side.
Probably right on his measure from here, Arts, I'd say.
Cool head from Graham in the end. Didn't blaze away and retreated with a short pass, which was the bare 15. So Jake Arts played all 11 games this year for 15 goals and sprayed this out to the right. So 6-6-42 Richmond, Essendon 2-3-15, 13 and a half minutes travelled. Second term on Grandstand AFL.
27 points, the Tigers lead. Zaharakis moves it, or looks to move it. He's going to have to get rid of it quickly. Run down by Revolt. No, it's 50. Revolt saying he'd stepped up his line. I'm keen to see the replay, but I thought he was about to go, and I think Jack did too, that he'd had enough time.
Still have to wait for the umpire's call.
Yeah, Jack is sort of suggesting that, well, what was happening there? The kick is inside forward 50 and a big mark, Phillips. Well, that's costly, that 50 metres. With Zaharakis been able to find a tall target for the Bombers. 45-degree angle to the right of centre. He'll kick from just inside the forward 50. That's a good grab, considering the number of people around him. Had to drag it in and was able to do so.
It's the first real big Essendon contest forward inside their forward 50.
Not a noted goal kicker. From 47 out, it starts to the left, and it's able to swing back, and it's through for a goal. Phillips keeps the Bombers in touch at the 15-minute mark of the second term. Richmond 6-6-42. Essendon moved to be 3-3-21. Clint Wilden with you alongside Ben Cameron, our experts tonight. Grandstand AFL. It is Dreamtime in Perth. Sharad Wellingham and David Mundy.
Case of the reverse commentator's curse there, Clint.
No, I was just saying not a note goal. It's always lovely when they're able to go back and slot them like that.
No, that came off the boot very nicely. It is really a nice thing to see when you see a key forward, or not even a key forward, he's probably ruckman forward, but drag a nice contested mark like that and then go back and kick. Give him a lot of confidence, but it also just instills a lot of confidence in the rest of the team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And able to get a bit of a one-on-one within the contest there on Marlon Pickett, who looks like Richmond's backup ruck. Joel's come back on now.
18 goals, now 19 goals in 52 games.
Chol wins the tap, goes straight forward for Richmond. Socket out of there by Martin. Bouncing ball, gathering it nicely. Collier Dawkins feeds a handball back to Cochin. He'll kick towards full forward. Castagna goes up. Can't quite drag in the mark. Now he's tackled on the follow-up by Parrish. Heppel there for the Dons. Handball back to Laverde. In trouble. Run down by Pickett. Caddy picks it up. He'll kick across the face of goal. Knocked down in the goal square. Caddy gathers onto the left. Snaps the goal. Well, he had to have a couple of tries at it, but he got it right eventually, Josh Caddy. And Richmond get the instant reply. 7-6-48. Plays 3-3-21. 27 points the advantage. 17 minutes gone in this second term.
And off the back of some fantastic forward pressure there from Marlon Pickett, there's two things he does well. Win grand finals in his first game and tackle a man with the football, and he did it exceptionally well there.
He made that quite hard for himself, Caddy. I thought after that little bit of candy he sold, he might have just had a little shot himself, but thought about passing it off and then gathered his own kind of mix-up there. So well done by Caddy.
He's never handballing that one off.
The second time you just go yourself.
Still a great finish. That's a shocking bounce, by the way. Umpire has to bring that back and will. Joel had to take 2 steps to his right outside of the centre circles. The outermost of the two of them to even get to it. He win it down again. And Martin's out after it, tackled by Langford. Martin gets the hand pass away. Onto it is Perkins. The Bombers, hand pass to no one in particular. Prestia was happy to receive that. Gave it to Broad, and a lovely little sidestep to get away from McDonald, Tippenwoody. Back to Martin, has to backtrack, kicks around the body, bounces it down the southern wing. The Bombers have some numbers here. Tapped it down to Perkins. It came to Merritt. Merritt kicks Essendon just inside forward 50. Out Voston, bounces off his knees. Martin's there surrounded by Essendon players and somehow emerges with it. Great play, but his hand pass intercepted by Guelphy. And then Guelphy got tackled, spun, was able to get a hand pass out. It came to Koch and he was tackled as well. The hand pass went astray, picked up by Merritt, back to Perkins, puts the Bombers inside forward 50, up and marking Waterman. Alec Waterman, who sealed the game for the Bombers against his former club and the club that his dad won 2 premierships with last week, now finds himself straight in front of goals. He'll be kicking from 40 out. (7-3) for the year. Just his 6th game of AFL football. Alec Waterman sends it on its way, brings the Bombers fans to their feet. They keep being able to respond, Essendon, and they bring that margin back again to 21 points. Richmond are 7-6-48. Bombers are 4-3-27. 19 gone in the second on Grandstand AFL.
It's a pretty good story, Alec Waterman, having, I suppose, fought his way tooth and nail to get back into the AFL. Went back to the Waffle, came back through reserves, back into the league, and then obviously picked up by Essendon. But now to be out there for the last month and a half or so, it's a pretty good effort, and pretty proud of the young fella. So good to see him out there and kick a goal. Doing very well for himself.
He is one of 8 native West Australians out there tonight. For Richmond, Baker, Bolton, McIntosh, Broad and Pickett. For Essendon, Hooker, Guelphy and Waterman. Is back in the middle. Parrish gets a handball away towards Merritt. Has to track it back to halfback. Handball to Langford. Back to Parrish. And now Hind puts on the afterburners. Drives it long towards Harry Jones. Can't quite bring it down. Pickett there to Rove and mop up for Richmond. Handball to Bolter. Defensive goal square. Kicks towards left halfback. Arriving late, Francis. He spoils it out of play and forces a throw in. Almost right where the 50 intersects with the boundary line at right half forward for Essendon. Just looks as if the Dons are starting to settle into it.
Yeah.
It's getting into the game.
It's the arm wrestle's definitely come back, and it's probably back in the centre at the moment.
21 points, Richmond's lead.
Phillips and Scholl both went underneath it. Zaharakis gathers for Essendon, kicks high inside forward 50. Off the hands of the pack. Sills down to Pickett, kicked around the body. Not where he wanted it to go. Marked by Langford. He's got it 60 from goal. Between centre half forward and right half forward for Essendon. He pauses to assess the options. Will now have to move it on. He'll put it into the right forward pocket. And then the mark, not quite. Waterman had 2 goes at it. Spilled out the side. Chance again here for the Tigers to clear. They've got numbers. Getting a hand pass away was short from full back to Voston. Tackled by Guelphy, but moved it on to Graham and then to McIntosh, who kicks to the southern wing.
Looking for Coleman Jones. He can't take the mark. The big man bounces up. He's able to pick it up. Gives it off to Camden McIntosh, who kicks infield to Hooley. Uncharacteristically drops it. Able to recover. Handball to Edwards. Handball to Arts. Now short in the middle of the ground. Kicks inside the attacking 50 for the Tigers. Bouncing ball for Caddy. Retreats with the handball to Cochin. Runs a little arc. Sets it up in the Chol direction. Heppel able to spoil it down. Now arriving Hind. So too Richmond's numbers. Arts gets it out. Graham dribbles it through. Richmond just keep coming. And eventually, the man they call Fridge with the cool finish. 8-6-54 move Richmond. Essendon 4-3-27, 22 minutes played in this second term. Sherrod Wellingham and David Mundy.
What was that one? What do they call it?
Fridge.
Oh, okay. I can see that one.
Yeah. Look at him.
He moves very well, Graham, even for a Fridge. But if that wasn't a Richmond goal, I'm not sure what is.
Yeah.
Just scrappy throughout the middle, but always another one there to help their mate. Another one there to take the ball off the deck. And fantastic effort by Arts in the forward 50. That fight from the small forwards to get it out and really set that goal up.
Do you know the nickname of every player in the AFL?
Nah, definitely not. I'd like to, though. I'm interested in nicknames.
What sort of percentage do you reckon? 50?
60?
60? I didn't know that. It's terrific. Tap was one down by Phillips. Got it off his fingertips. There was Presty, though. The hand pass had too much on it, but Bolton will follow it up. Merritt battles alongside him. Merritt for the Bombers tapped it back to Parrish on hands and knees. Worked it back again. Found Phillips. Kicks the Bombers towards the southern wing, and then Hooley read it well. Marked against Perkins. Hooley for the Tigers. Spots Prestia. Sends the pass inboard. Prestia marks, plays on by hand. Moving behind him, Edwards sends it into the attacking 50 and coming back the other way, Cox with a good defensive mark. Has it for Essendon. Looks to go beyond defensive kick. Oh, disappointing kick, turns it over. Marked there by Baker, who then steps off his mark and he's forced to play on. Will kick high and long into the right forward pocket. Coleman Jones brings it down, Castagna's there, and then a free kick. It's a holding decision going the way of Coleman Jones. It's against Stewart. And so Coleman Jones will look to have his third tonight. He'll be kicking, I reckon, from about 35, between 35 and 40 metres out to the right of centre. What do you make of the free kick, Jets?
Well, yeah, hold was the call, but just watching that replay quickly, I could not see a lot in that.
You're not the Lone Ranger. Coleman Jones. The kick is across the face. He misses to the left. A minor score to the Tigers. 8-7-55 Richmond. 4-3-27 the Bombers. 24 gone in the second.
They say the ball doesn't lie. So maybe a little bit of justice in that kick as the kick in goes to Stewart, the aggrieved party. He sends Essendon towards the wing. Phillips can't mark. McDonald, Tipperwoody roving, spinning, twirling, pirouetting. That was brilliant. Gives it off to Hind, who kicks infield. Parrish marks, and the switch is on for Essendon. Heppel drops the mark, moves it towards Cox on the wing. Pickett comes across quickly to guard the mark. So Essendon on this northern wing, trailing by 28 points. Cox just sets it up into the pocket, close to the boundary line. No mark taken and out of play. So we'll get a throw in, 45 metres around from the attacking goal for the Dons. Richmond 8-7-55, Essendon 4-3-27. 26 minutes travelled in this second term.
Ball spun back in. Hooker doing the ruck work against Coleman Jones. Taps it down to Perkins. The hand passes back into traffic. Baker. Went back by hand. Then Grimes got crunched by McDonald, Tipperwoody. It's now with Parrish. Hands it off to Ham. Ham will steady and he'll kick the goal from the left forward pocket. He's got his second. And again, Essendon just keep edging their way back to around that 21-22 point margin. Richmond's lead is now 22 points, 8-7-55. The Bombers are 5-3-33. It remains an enthralling battle. Dreamtime in Perth. We've travelled 26 into the second quarter.
Grimes is about as tough as they come, but I think even he'll be feeling that Tipperwoody hit for a few days. That was as hard as they come, but great pressure brought about the turnover goal. So keeping themselves in the game here. Just about to watch this hit from Tipperwoody. It is that'll rock you for a few days.
It's a nice one, wasn't it? I think Essendon, as the game's progressing, are able to exert themselves on the contest and on Richmond more and more. Richmond are finding it harder to handball through that pressure.
Perfect bounce back in the middle. Coleman Jones in the ruck, wins the tap, but straight down to Parrish. Hooks Essendon inside 50. No mark taken. Free kick. It'll go to Essendon. Paddy Ambrose, the Medi sub, will get the free kick. The man on the mark, 45 metres out. A slight angle to the right-hand side. I mentioned earlier, he's been in goal-kicking form. He kicked 5 in the VFL a fortnight ago. His first game of the year. Ambrose from just inside 50. An awkward-looking kick. It's out to the right. Never looked like it. So a minor score, 5-5-35 Essendon. Richmond 8-7-55. 20 points the advantage the way of the Tigers.
Hooley had it in the left back pocket, sent it towards the commentary wing. Scholl at the back was able to get a touch on it. Spilled down towards the Bombers though. It came to Cox, moved it to Merritt, now to Parrish under real pressure from Castagna. Hand pass inboard. Ambrose was onto it, gave it to Merritt. Kicks the Bombers into the right forward pocket. Hooker went up, couldn't mark. Crunched into again. Spilled out towards Martin though. From centre half back, kicks around the body. Trying to mark Arts, couldn't. Spilled out, Langford. Sent it by hand back to Redmond. Picks it up off the deck. Forced the backtrack. Great pressure from Arts. Got a hand pass away though, the Bomber. Onto Ham. Gathered again and then tackled quickly. Still looked to hand pass it forward. Guelphy forced to sit over the boundary line left half forward. About 70 out from the Bombers' attacking goal. Kicking to the right of our broadcast position. The city end in this term, or what's left of it. 28 minutes gone in the second.
Free kick.
Going the way of Arts. I didn't see what it was for. Did you, Shaz?
I think Redmond may have remonstrated.
Arts kick picked off by Ridley. So he intercept marks for the Dons across halfback. Moves it to Parrish. His kick short to Waterman. Right at centre halfback for Essendon. Closing in on half-time. 21 points, Richmond's advantage. Here is Redmond. Receives the kick from Waterman. Off to Phillips. Now Parrish. Thumps it long. Hooker in good position. Hooker can't quite mark. Getting back broad. McIntosh there too. Close to the behind post. It's out of play. We'll get a throw in left forward pocket.
Great defensive effort from McIntosh there.
Forward 50 stoppage here for the Dons. They trail by 21 points, but they're getting into the game. Hooker to do the ruck work. Opposed to Coleman Jones. Coleman Jones brings it down. Waterman coming through. Shovels it out. Hooker's kick blocked. McDonald Tipperwoody goes in. Baker swats it away. Tracking it Grimes. Close to the boundary line. The siren beats all comers. And Richmond, in many respects, saved by the bell. 8-7-55 Richmond. Essendon 5-4-34. It was 4 goals apiece in that second term here on Grandstand AFL.
So the goal kickers for the Tigers, Revolt has 2, Coleman Jones with a couple as well, and then singles to Martin, Castagna, Caddy and Graham. While for the Bombers, 2 to Ham, singles to Hooker, Phillips and Waterman. As Ben told you, Richmond 8-7-55 to Essendon 5-4-34. The Tigers with the advantage as they look to extend their winning streak over the Bombers to 11. And they've also won the past 6 Dreamtime games. Dreamtime in Perth on ABC Sports. Let's get the thoughts of our experts here on Grandstand AFL tonight. 300 gamer with the Fremantle Dockers in David Mundy and Premiership player with Collingwood, Sharad Willingham. Gentlemen.
It was probably a little bit of a settle from Essendon for me there. I think Richmond continued to play the way they did in that first quarter, but Essendon were able to probably quell their effectiveness when they did it. Still, Richmond owned the corridor, like we mentioned many times, and when they're going inside 50, just look a lot more fluid, and they're getting better looks when they do it. Essendon, they're having to grasp and fight for everything that they get at the moment.
Yeah, well, what's dragged Essendon back into the game has been the contest and their pressure around the ball and then moving it from there. Certainly the corridor seems to be whoever's owning that is really dominating the game. Richmond in that first quarter, it was really obvious they were moving the ball with purpose through the corridor, and I thought Essendon in the second half of that quarter in particular had a few really golden opportunities to bring it back through there but just missed it. So they're doing a great job now around the ball, and it looks like Darcy Parish has brought his own footy again.
Yeah, 25 disposals at half-time. He's on fire, 440 metres gained, so he's also taking ground when he's got the ball. But, yeah, the other midfielders that we're usually seeing pretty high numbers from, I mean, Merritt's still sitting on 17 possessions, which is enormous, but just probably not having the depth of contribution there from Essendon.
And just on Darcy Parish, won the Anzac medal earlier this year, so the Anzac Day medal into the Yuyukin Award would be a pretty rare double in 1 year, I reckon. Chaz, I know you can't speak about it, but David Mundy, you can. It's been a pretty impressive first half for Darcy Parish, whose numbers recently have been big.
Absolutely, he just finds his way around to the ball. He's working really hard all over the ground, it appears, and every time Essendon needs something, he manages to get the ball, and he's put him on his shoulders tonight. And seems to be a bit of the theme of their year so far. I think he's about 30 ahead of the next best in clearances for Essendon for the year. So I'm sure he'd love some support from the other guys in there.
He's doing it at the stoppage, but he's also working up and down the ground as well. He's getting it in the forward half, which as a midfielder is great if you can have an impact there. But if you're also then helping out your defenders, it's ticking both boxes. So he's doing a really good job for the team.
And that was something that, Brendan Goddard has spoken about that here on the ABC, a former teammate of Darcy, that he did have...
What show is that, Ben?
On Corbin and Ben,
very
which
good.
you can find under the Best of Grandstand in the podcast store. He spoke about the fact that... Thank you. He spoke about the fact that he did have some defensive elements of his game that he needed to work on to arrive at the player that he is now.
And he did go back and spend a little bit of time in the VFL over the last few years, but to be able to go back and learn that craft and then come in and I suppose implement it at AFL is what's good to say.
If I have a run out of a career here in football, I could work as a politician with a Dorothy Dixer like that, I reckon. It is half-time. Perth Stadium looks simply magnificent. The LED lighting in the colours of the Indigenous flag, the gold, yellow with the red, and they've cleverly been able to black out parts of the stadium too. It looks magnificent. They are doing a tremendous job, the half-time entertainment, with the game being shifted because of COVID. And again, our thoughts with everyone in Victoria. We don't mean to be, rubbing it in that this isn't Dreamtime at the G. We understand that that's its spiritual home, if you like. But if you can't host it, we're delighted that we could have it here in WA. And And again, Perth showing, as we've said many times, if you're prepared to bring the bigger games here, the marquee games, and you need to move them because of the situation in Melbourne, you could send them to the SCG for 3,000 to 4,000 people, or you can bring them here for a packed stadium. It's magnificent tonight. The WA public's response has been tremendous, and hopefully the game continues to be as intriguing as it's been so far. They're right in this, the Bombers. They might trail, as we said, by 21 points. Do not write them off at all. 8-7-55 is Richmond. The Bombers 5-4-34. There's a lot of footy to play in this second half. Wherever you're listening, hope you've been enjoying it. We'll be back and run through some of your text messages too. 0437 774 774, 0437 774 774. Let us know part of the nation you're listening to us in tonight. In the meantime, though, let's pause here and take the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. Victoria's recorded 5 new locally acquired cases of COVID-19, including 2 unlinked cases, as health authorities work to track the source of a highly infectious strain of the virus in the community. Mary McDonald reports.
The Health Minister Martin Foley says 2 of the new cases had the Delta variant and are both close contacts of existing cases in the West Melbourne cluster. The other new infections are a household contact of a worker at Arcare Maidstone and 2 people from the same household who visited shopping centres at Craigieburn and Epping, which had been listed as public exposure sites. Mr Foley says contact tracing continues.
The focus of our efforts over the past day have been casting a wide net around particularly that West Melbourne, North Melbourne outbreak.
Authorities say 3 of the new cases had already been in isolation when they received positive results.
Police have arrested 2 people and fined 16 following a protest in Melbourne's CBD against COVID vaccinations and lockdowns. 1 man was arrested for failing to provide his name and address. Another was taken into custody and charged with offences including resisting police. Others were fined for failing to wear a mask or travelling outside their 10-kilometre lockdown radius. The federal opposition says the Prime Minister is playing petty politics with Queensland over a proposal for a dedicated quarantine facility. The Commonwealth is supporting a Victorian plan for a purpose-built facility in that state and has agreed to fund the construction. But Labor is accusing the federal government of dismissing a Queensland proposal for a hub near Toowoomba before properly assessing the project. The Shadow Health Minister Mark Butler says the nation needs a network of quarantine facilities.
We heard at estimates this week that the Department of Health has not even been asked to assess the health merits of this Queensland proposal. Scott Morrison is clearly playing petty politics with this issue of quarantine.
Some of India's states are easing lockdown restrictions as coronavirus infections subside, with the world's second most populous nation today recording its lowest daily new infection count in nearly 2 months. The chief minister for the region, including the capital Delhi, says the coronavirus situation there is slowly improving. Restrictions are being relaxed in the capital, with shops allowed to open on alternate days. Offices in Delhi will also be allowed to operate at 50% of normal staffing levels. An advisor to former federal Liberal MP Craig Kelly, who's now turned independent, has been charged with sexual assault offences in Sydney's south. It's alleged Frank Zumbo sexually touched and indecently assaulted 3 women in their 20s and a teenage girl over a 6-year period. The 53-year-old's been refused bail and is facing court today. A California governor, Gavin Newsom, says he'll challenge a court ruling that's overturned the state's 32-year ban on assault weapons. He's called the ruling a direct threat to public safety. A U.S. federal judge ruled the state's ban on weapons was unconstitutional and gave it 30 days to lodge an appeal. It comes just a week after a man shot dead 9 people in a Californian rail yard. The British government is set to require tenders for major public sector contracts to commit to net zero carbon emissions by 2050. The move's being hailed as a world first. Bidders will have to publish clear and credible reduction plans before they can bid for public sector contracts worth more than $9 million. Chinese state television says one person is dead and 7 are missing following an accident in a coal mine in central China. It says local authorities have launched an emergency response plan. Chinese authorities have been carrying out safety inspections at coal mines across the country. Researchers are warning that deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon may already be affecting rainfall with serious implications for agriculture. The BBC's Candice Piet explains.
Environmentalists have long warned of the connection between deforestation in the Amazon and low rainfall. The forest is a key generator of rain further south. A new study by German and Brazilian researchers suggests Brazil's agricultural sector is already losing around $1 billion a year because of drought. Ministers have been meeting this week to discuss the dangerously low levels in essential hydro dams. The researchers looked at rainfall changes in the last 10 years in the southern Amazon, where a third of forests have already been illegally logged.
You can get more news from our website abc.net.au/news.
Dubbed the worst team in Origin history? I don't think so.
Game! Set! Bingo! Mighty win by Queensland!
The Blues are out for revenge with an all-star backline.
Flicks up Tedesco! Bing, bing, bing! The human pinball over!
The 2021 State of Origin series on Grandstand Rugby League.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio, and on the ABC Listen app. ABC Sport on Social is your sports conversation on the go. Video, player insight and analysis. This is the content you never knew you needed. Get ABC Sport wherever you scroll.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season
Sir Doug Nicholls round.
on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Essendon down the northern wing, finds Stringer, sidesteps Boston, comes central, looks towards Hooker, kicks in that direction, Hooker juggles, Hooker marks.
Broad almost gets run down, but gets the kick away, long towards full forward. And then a big crashing mark. Has it been paid to Coleman Jones? It has. From just to the right of centre, from 25 metres out, he puts it through. He has got two. And the Tigers get a quick response. Kick is inside forward 50 and a big mark. Phillips. From 47 out it starts to the left and it's able to swing back and it's through for a goal.
Handball back to Laverde, in trouble, run down by Pickett. Caddy picks it up, he'll kick it across the face of goal, knocked down in the goal square. Caddy gathers onto the left, snaps the goal. Heppel able to spoil it down, now arriving Hine. So too Richmond's numbers. Arts gets it out. Graham dribbles it through.
Went back by hand, then Grimes got crunched by McDonald, Tip and Woody. It's now with Parrish. Hands it off to Ham. Ham will steady and he'll kick the goal from the left forward pocket. He's got his second. And again, Essendon just keep edging their way back to around that 21-22 point margin.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season
Sir Doug Nicholls round.
on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
So it is 21 points at half-time. Richmond with a handy lead, but as we said, the Bombers, they're just not going away. We'll get the full rundown of all the stats with Ben Cameron in just a moment. In the meantime, though, as we always do, love to hear from you here on Grandstand AFL on ABC Sport. George from Wheater says to all the First Nations peoples who permit our presence on country and provide the greatest AFL players we have seen, go well and thank you. Rick, who's in Margaret River, and tonight says transplanting veggies by Headlamp. G'day Clinton, Ben, Sharon and David, your most listenable and articulate analysis dudes. I like that. Please renew their contracts. We will. We'll be talking to them after this game. I want to take some of this down on the ground. Let's take some of the entertainment.
Tell you a story. 200 years of history that's falsified. British invaders that we remember as heroes. Are you ready to tell the other side? We started our story in 1493 with a piece of paper called the Doctrine of Discovery, invoked by Pope Alexander VI. Without this good Christian, our story don't exist. From little things big things grow. From little things, big things grow. Captain James Cook, he boarded a fleet, and he was armed with the doctrine of discovery. The same tactics were used by Columbus. It's how today Australia claims terra nullius. 'Cause on that paper, the Pope did write that you're only human if you've been saved by Christ. And if there are no Christians in sight, the land you stumble on becomes your God-given right. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. Is that your law? 'Cause that's invasion. That's the destruction of 500 nations. That's the genocide of entire populations, which planted the seeds for the stolen generation and grew into my people's mass incarceration. Now we pass trauma through many generations, but the Lord can't discover what already existed. For 200 years, my people have resisted. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. The war's continued since Captain James Cook. And this side of history, you don't write in your books. You don't want the truth, and you don't want to listen. But how can you stomach Australia's contradiction? 'Cause we went to war in 1945. We were allies against a terrible genocide. And I know it's uncomfortable, but the irony I see is that you fought for them, but you don't fight for me. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. And we should move on. Move on to what? 'Cause I still remember, have you forgot that Vincent Langari knew others were rising? Gurindji inspired us to keep on fighting. So call it Australia, go and call it what you like. I just call it how I see it, and I see genocide. Now that you hear me, can you understand? There can never be justice on our stolen land. From little things, things grow. From little things, big things grow. This is the story of so-called Australia, but this is the story of so much more. How power and privilege cannot move my people. We know where we stand. We stand in our law. From little things, big things grow. From little things. Perth, please sing with me now. Little things, big things grow. From little things. Louder. Together. things right. Since 1991, 441 Indigenous Australians have died in custody. They're casualties of a war that never ended. But we are not yet defeated. Always was, always will be. Sovereignty was never ceded.
Ziggy Ramo. Players are in position. We're ready to go. Third term underway. Ben Cameron on Grandstand AFL.
21 points, Richmond's advantage. Phillips wins the tap. Richmond follow up. Prestia sends them inside, attacking 50. Heppel gets back, mops up at fullback for the Dons. Onto his left. A little bit of a floater out towards the wing. No mark taken. Arriving Graham for Richmond. Gives it off to Bolton. Kicks to full forward. Down there Coleman Jones. So too Laverde. A tackle from Martin. And it's through for a minor score. So 30 seconds played in their second half. At the only score, Richmond by 22 points.
Bombers working around that right back pocket. It's in the hands of Merritt now. They look to go short once more. This is Ridley. Western Ferris winner, as Ben told you earlier, from last season. It's a ham across the defensive edge of the centre square. He'll move it out. Oh, slipping over. This is dangerous. Redmond got tackled. Just got the hand pass away. Found Merritt. Kicks towards centre half forward. Uncontested mark coming the way here of Hind. He'll pop it inside forward 50. This is Langford. Marking 48 out from goal. He's at left half forward. He kicking from beyond 50 if he decides to go for goal. There was a short lead on. It's always going to be optimistic from Hind. Langford has the ball in hand. This would be a big start for the Bombers. If Kyle Langford can kick truly. 8-3 for the season so far. Will he have the distance? He cuts inboard. Gets the kick away. It won't have the carry. Big pack up at full forward. Great mark. Dragging it in. Bolter. Wonderful defensive effort for the Richmond Tigers. And he'll move it to Vlostone. He's in the right back pocket.
So Vlostone kicks beyond the defensive arc and Caddy marks. Chips it short to Prestia. Prestia into the middle of the ground and Edwards. Edwards pokes it just over McDonald, Tip and Woody. Cochin just forward of centre now for Richmond. To Bolton, who marks almost on the attacking arc. In fact, that's exactly where the mark's set. He sets it up into the pocket, looking for Martin, who juggles it. Arriving Stewart, pitches it from him. Runs into the back pocket, snaps towards the middle of the ground. Hind drops the mark. Coming through there, Phillips. Hind goes again. Shovels out a handball. Chol wins it for Richmond. Handball to Martin at centre half forward. Slung in a tackle. Could be holding the ball. The umpire lets them go. Parrish gets involved. Graham comes up with it for the Tigers. Gives it off towards Baker. Unloads to full forward. Coleman Jones can't mark. Redmond's there. Essendon in a little bit of a pickle. The handball coming from Cox back to Redmond. He chips to the left back pocket and Laverde. And the Dons survive. 22 points. Richmond's lead. 3 minutes into the third. Ash Nelson downstairs.
Yeah, guys, Richmond's Dylan Grimes hasn't come up from the rooms just yet. Apparently went down there with a back complaint, remembering that he had that big hit on by McDonald, Tip and Woody.
It was a monstrous hit as well. He was sore straight away with good reason. You can understand why. Most of us would require a week in hospitals. Chol puts it back inside forward 50. Mark taken. Colin Jones front position. They was able to just work him out and take the grab defensively. A strong mark too for the Bombers as they repel another Richmond foray forward. Ball's moved short to Zaharakis, who marks. Still inside the defensive 50. Short run and then we'll kick towards left half back. 2-on-2 battle. Hooker was there. Bloston won it down and over the boundary line. The footy goes. And then a solid bump on Langford from Boston as well. Ought to be thrown in. Left half back for Essendon. They trail on the scoreboard. It's Richmond 8-8-56 to Essendon 5-4-34. 4 gone in the third.
From the throw in, Scholl knocks it down in front, tries to follow up. McDonald Tipperwoody gets involved, spits out to Merritt. Handball away to Ham. Now McDonald Tipperwoody. He slices through them all, takes a couple of bounces. Handball to Zaharakis. Zaharakis steadies, goes short inside 50. Handball from Jones. Ham cruises in, boots his third. Essendon get the first of the second half. 6-4-40. They close on Richmond, 8-8-56. 4 minutes into the third term.
Yeah, and a huge start for the quarter for Essendon, obviously. I think we've seen a little bit of a repercussion with Grimes starting off, with Lawson having to mark Hooker down here for that, which generated the stoppage, which ultimately led to their goal here.
Yeah, exactly right. Cale Hooker probably didn't impact as many contests in that first half as we're used to seeing him do, but that little passage of play from Tipperwoody was pretty spectacular. Just his ability to test the tackle and then slice through the middle, run and carry, just opens it up, as we've seen. But Zaharakis changing the angles going inside 50 was pretty special as well. Ham going ham as well.
Very good.
Someone did text me earlier, champagne footy from Ham.
I was hoping he was going to slice his way through as it was tapped down by Phillips in the restart. Straight to Stringer, tackled immediately by Scholl. Cochin in there as well. Another ball up. Scholl did well. Fingertips to it. Merritt, though, stole it away. Gave it to Langford. Kicks the Bombers inside forward 50 and Boston marks. Ash Nelson downstairs quickly.
Dylan Grimes is back on the interchange. He's looking a little bit ginger. He bent over to pick up a water bottle, but he seems like he's ready to go.
Balls at right half back for Richmond. Arts had it. Got it to Prestia. Kicks towards right half forward. One-on-one battle. No one can take the mark. It's spilled down off the hands of Laverde. Picked up by Pickett. Just shy of right half forward. He spots Joel and the kick was perfect. Precise. Marks at centre half forward. Phillips was right there. It just had enough to carry over him. Joel marks and sends it to full forward. Bombers with the numbers. And they work out two at the back of the line of three. Redmond marks. Bolton, the Richmond meat in the sandwich. Redmond beyond defensive 50, and Cox has done well to drag it in off the fingertips. Moves it quickly to Hind, who marks on the southern wing.
So Essendon continuing where they finished the first half as Hind comes infield. Cox snaps around the corner and finds Perkins. Those two young, precocious talents for Essendon combining. Perkins on the logo on the southern wing. First time tonight Essendon have kicked back-to-back goals as Perkins goes to a leading Phillips between wing and right half forward. The goals did come either side of half-time as Phillips goes inside the attacking 50 looking for Hooker. He can't mark, brings it to ground. Zaharakis jams it on the boot towards Langford. Jones goes up to Hines there, squeezes it on the boot. It falls to Pickett, gets a handball away. Then Edwards out towards Baker. Richmond under pressure and Prestia will thump it to the wing.
Prestia looking for Coleman. Jones had two to beat once more. Spoil came at the back. Laverde was able to work it forward, and I thought Merritt was taken high. Officials thought differently. Heppel keeps it in. Now it's with Hawley. Hand pass to the Tigers captain in Cochin. Quick hand pass to Martin. Bounces it. Oh, clever to Hawley. Who taps it forward. That was wonderful to Cochin as well. They maintained possession, but Cochin's kick was poor. Into the middle of the ground, and waiting in the centre circles was Cox. Bombers fans appeal for their team to start getting it forward. Instead, the kicks to the southern wing to Zaharakis, who will pause. Look for something in front of him. Zaharakis on a short run and then steps inside his opponent. Left Bolton in his wake. Zaharakis kicks towards full forward. Phillips up and marking. Right in front. And he's 30 metres from goal.
It takes courage to do that, but you need courage, and those inside 50s, just changing the angles makes it so different, doesn't it, Dave?
Yeah, Shy Bolton won't be hungry for a while. He had a big bite there, turned upside, inside out, and as you mentioned, a great entry off that.
He sold some candy. Bolton brought it and then some.
Just puts all the defenders offside.
Phillips must kick this for the Bombers. Huge opportunity for them. Right in front. Oh, he's missed. He's missed to the left-hand side. Can I say now, not a noted goal kicker. Minor score. 8-8-56 the Tigers, 6-5-41 the Bombers, 9 gone in the third.
They're applying pressure again, Essendon, and Bolter is taken out at left half back. So we'll get a throw in. Essendon to half-time had 16 tackles. They averaged 64 a game this year. So down in terms of their pressure. They've ratcheted it up to start this second half. Phillips brings it down. Bolton steals it. Kicks Richmond towards the wing. Rewalt can't take the mark. On the bounce, he tries to hack it forward. Bouncing ball. Arts arrives. Guelphy there with him. So too Redmond for the Dons. He wins the footy. Sweeps a handball to Laverde. He'll kick it up the middle, trying to get it to Ambrose. Can't quite gather on the bounce. Presti is there. Under siege, though. Waterman applies a tackle. Umpire says it's held in. We'll get a ball up. Baker at the bottom of the pack, having received the Presti a handball. Umpire puts it aloft quickly. Phillips knocks it down. Knocking it out Edwards for Richmond. Pickett gathers. Handballs forward towards Bolton. Look away handball to Graham, but kicks it back to Bolton on this northern wing.
Bolton for the Tigers towards right half forward. Spoil came from Heppel, but then Arts gathers again, scoops it up, runs into the right forward pocket, met by Ridley, tackled holding the ball. Oh no! Umpire says he just got a hand pass away. The Bombers still can clear. Laverde kicks towards left half back. Guelphy's able to keep it in. A short hand pass back and then tackled immediately over the line. His hand wrapped up by Castagna. We'll have another look at this. Was he able to get a hand pass away? No, I don't think so. Let's have a look. No, not at all.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
Thrown back in. Chol palms it down to Pickett for the Tigers. Hand passes to Chol once more. Tackled by Parrish. He does just get a kick away. To Castagna. Moves it to Edwards. Fires it into the centre square. This is Prestia. They're forced to backtrack here, the Tigers. Comes again out towards Voston. And he was able to get it from Baker. Voston spinning the ball over in his hands. Looks to send it deep inside 50. Boston into the left forward pocket. He wanted Martin. Cox was back with the flight of the football. Got the fist to it. Saw it over the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in. Richmond's lead is 15 points, 12 gone in the third. This is Grandstand AFL and ABC Sport. This is Ben Cameron.
It's the challenger and the champ in many ways. Spoke about the similarities of style. Phillips knocks it down to Parrish. Handball to Langford. Handball to Laverde. Handball to Redmond. And they try and bounce it out of their D50. Perkins in trouble. Stands up in the tackle. Handball away to Langford. Doesn't find him though. Castagna gets it to Caddy. Now Collier Dawkins. Snaps towards full forward. Swooping on it. Bolton. Front and square. Snaps the goal. That is just classical roving. Front and centre. And a cool, calm, class finish. Right as Richmond need it. 9-8-62. Essendon 6-5-41. A 21-point advantage and a goal against the flow, against the momentum for the Tigers.
Yeah, it really was against the momentum because I feel Essendon just kept putting pressure on them. Couple of chances to probably exit and overuse the footy a little bit too much maybe. But a pretty Richmond kind of goal there. Perfect crumbing technique from Bolton there, hitting the front of the contest and just clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to get a forward half turnover there. And their back setting up really well behind the play. The experienced heads in like Grimes, Vlosten, Broad played a lot of footy, really helping stop the Essendon ball movement.
The restart. Langford looks to slap it forward. And the reply, almost tennis style again from Martin. The Bombers have numbers here. Comes to Parrish. Moves it on to Phillips. Now to Perkins, runs to the top of the 50, kicks long towards goal, but he'll miss to the right-hand side. It opened up for him. Kick had the distance, not the accuracy. Another minor score. The Tigers by 20 points, 13 and a bit gone in the third.
The Tigers move it towards the northern wing, and Redmond puts his fist through it. Sends it into the stands, and we'll get a throw-in. The young fella, not sure about giving it back. Does so eventually. So 9-8-62 Richmond. Essendon 6-6-42. Umpire spins it back in. Phillips leaps high above Pickett, slaps it down. Parrish onto the loose footy. Handball to Perkins, buffeted off it. McIntosh wins it for Richmond. Kicks forward of the wing, bouncing ball for Arts. Redmond right there with him. And out of play it goes. We'll get a throw in neutral territory on this northern wing. Arts just slips over.
With Pickett having to do the ruck, it looks like Richmond are having to send up a few extra numbers.
Phillips, little backhand down to Parrish. Advantage taken for Essendon. Handball to Zaharakis. Now Ham. Parrish streaming forward. Kicks the Dons inside 50. Hooker's got away from Bolter. He marks 45 out. On a tight angle, 45 degrees to the left-hand side. His eyes are darting. Where does Cale Hooker go? Darcy Parrish picking up where he left off. 25 first half possessions. 6 in this second half. Hooker coming in as if he'll kick for goal. He arcs out to the right. Skews off the side of the boot towards the top of the goal square. No mark taken. Grimes is ripped down off the footy. No holding the ball call. 15 out here from the attacking goal for the Dons. And we'll get a stoppage. 20 points. Richmond's advantage. Quarter hour mark of the third here in the Dreamtime in Perth game.
Throwing aloft. Pickett wins it down for the Tigers to Edwards. The hand passes behind Hooley. He can backtrack. Steps inside the attempted tackle of Ambrose and then is able to spot a teammate marking Cochin, who's got it at right half back. Puts the Tigers down the commentary wing. Arts hard up against the boundary. Beneath our broadcast position marks. He'll play on. Kicking long towards right half forward. Ball bounces. Ridley's back there. Mops it up for Essendon to Parrish. Has to kick quickly. Umpire almost got in the way of Hind. Hind had to dive backwards to complete the mark between fullback and centre half back for Essendon. The Bombers trail by 20 points. 16 gone in the third term here on Grandstand AFL.
So Hind sends it out towards the southern wing. Juggling mark attempt from Guelphy. Drop. Caddy steals it. Handball to Edwards. Kicks to full forward. Castagna's there. Waltzes into an open goal and goes whack. His second. And boy, that hurts. 10-8-68 plays 6-6-42. 17-minute mark of the third term. Sherrod Wellingham, David Mundy.
And Essendon players in the Richmond forward 50 shaking their heads, asking each other what happened there. Clearly a breakdown in communication with who was numbering off as the ball was exiting, but it's the power of forward half turnovers there. Richmond able to win the ball back in their half, and it gives you a really great shot at scoring.
Missing a couple of opportunities, I feel, Essendon here. They've probably had one or two chances to transition the open side of the ground. Missed mark. It was a missed mark or an intercepted mark. Finger might have got in on it in Guelphy, but he gets that mark and they're out the whole way out the other side of the ground. So got to keep taking the game on and trying to move the ball quickly.
Coleman Jones faces Cox, so two of the youngsters do battle. Cox wins it down for Essendon. Looks to follow up. Graham got there first. Tackled by Cox. Wrapped him up. Ball jars free. Stringer sockers it inside forward 50. Bumped off at Jones. Ball comes out the side to Stringer again. Got it from Ambrose. Stringer kicks towards goal in the goal square. Grimes gets the fist on it to rush it through for a minor score. Bombers 6-7-43. They still trail Richmond 10-8-68. 18 gone in the third.
Short to the pocket. And Broad is able to mark. Chips it back very short to the reigning best and fairest Jaden Short. And it goes for a little run. Kicks across the goal mouth. And Bolter gets it and goes for a little run. Thumps it long towards the logo. Marking contest. Heppel goes up. Brings it to ground. Pickett roves it though. Richmond. Now they come through the middle. Hooley kicks to half forward. Coming off his man. Doing a great job. Francis wins it back. Gives it to Hind. Off go the Dons down the southern wing. Hind will kick towards half forward. A bouncing ball over the contest it goes. Grimes wants the boundary line. He slips over in the end and fumbles it out. I think he wanted the boundary line. I don't think he wanted to slip over, but he'll take the result nevertheless. 25 points Richmond's lead. 19 minutes played in this third term.
really gutsy move there by Francis, coming forward off a guy who's had 5 scoring shots in Riewoldt.
Coleman got front position, won it down, but straight to Parrish. Quick hand pass away. I'll look to work it inside forward 50 here through Hind. Parrish is on the end of it again. Gathers in the right forward pocket. Misses. Putting it across the face. Oh, the Bombers spurning some opportunities. 10-8-68 the Tigers. 6-8-44 the Bombers. 19:30 gone in the third.
Loston goes up the middle to Prestia. Just a little wasteful, as Clint said. Graham from centre half back receives the kick and now sends it out towards the wing. Castagna, handball to Short on his left. Pokes it for Riewoldt. Goes through that contest at the back. Stewart's there to mop up. He goes short to the skipper and Heppel at right half back. Very plain with the haircut these days. Short back inside for Heppel rather than the dreadlocks as he moves it on to Merritt. Back to Ridley in the back pocket. He'll flare it to the wing in Langford. Has to protect the drop of the ball well. Does so. Marks and plays on. Kicks inside 50. Looking for McDonald, Tipham Woody. He can't mark. Bolter gets it for Richmond. Kicks back to the wing. Here's Martin. And Richmond with a path towards goal.
Graham running by. Received that hand pass. Worked it on to Bolton. Shakes the tackle. Back to Graham. Graham kicks towards goal. He kicks the major. That's got to hurt. If you're a Bombers fan, Graham's got a couple now. When they take their opportunities, Richmond, and the Bombers don't take theirs. Richmond 11-8-74. They're out to a 30-point advantage, the Tigers. 6-8-44, the Bombers. 21 gone in the third on Grandstand AFL.
Hit the nail on the head there. It's just taking their opportunities. Parrish rolling into an open goal. Pushes it out to the left, and a minute and a half later they go down and score the other end. Richmond, these opportunities are going to come back to bite them, I think.
You'd hate for that to be the difference in the game ultimately, but a really great job there by Graham as well. Looked forward when he first got the ball, and Essendon had a number back with their big ruckman helping, Francis helping back. So use the hands, get Bolton involved and get it back to get forward of the ball.
It's literally just taking their chances, isn't it? I mean, Essendon have been pretty competitive in this third term. They've been good. Just they haven't put it on the scoreboard. Here's Merritt trying to change that. Running into trouble in the middle of the ground. Handball to Redmond, handball to Parrish. And now Heppel. Handball to Stringer, handball over his head. Hyde, attacking edge of the square. Takes on Graham. Handball to himself. KB style. Now gets it on the boot from 45 towards goal. And Grimes is back there. The Grimes stopper takes the mark on the goal line. And still Essendon can't quite. 30 points or 5 goals even is Richmond's lead 22 minutes into the third.
He's been terrific too, Grimes, on a few occasions as Prestia takes a strong mark, or Castagna rather, at left half back. Looks to move it on, trying to find Caddy, battling away up against Waterman. All over the boundary line for a throw-in. Good spoil earlier. And then that mark just seconds ago. Grimes has been tremendous. Ought to be spun back into play here. Essendon look to emerge with it. And pass from Cox. It comes to Perkins. Runs back inside the centre square. Graham lost his footing. Kick for the Bombers towards full forward. Boston this time. A big punch to the footy and actually sends it 3 rows back into the crowd.
Don't know if it's a lack of movement from Essendon forwards, but they're not using any hit-ups. No one's coming at the kicker, and it's just forcing them to kick long to that 20-metre out, 15-metre outer option, which is just getting spoiled every time.
Richmond hugging the boundary line. As Grimes goes long to a contest, Heppel reaches over Arts and drags in the mark for the Dons. Just forward of the wing, northern side of the ground. Heppel will send Essendon back inside 50. Broad with the fist. Stringer rows. Shrugs a couple of tackles. Pokes it towards full forward. Cox is down there. Waterman 2. No mark taken. Free kick. It'll go to Essendon. Now is it Cox or Waterman who will get it? Both have their hands up.
I think it may have been in the back for Cox.
It's got a little shove from Caddy. So Cox directly in front, 15 out. He gets one back for Essendon. Finally, they take a chance. And it's back to 23 points. The Dons are 7-9-51. Richmond 11-8-74 here on Grandstand AFL. Dreamtime in Perth. Sharad Wellingham, David Mundy.
Yeah, looking a bit more composed this quarter, Cox. He had a bit of a skew-if start to the game, missed a couple of shots on goal and a bad turnover in the back half. But, yeah, this quarter looking much more composed with ball in hand especially.
I mentioned it just before, but do they need to change their tact going inside 50? It just seems like they're just dumping it in there, which you don't want to do against Richmond. It's just enabling them to get their numbers back and then they're exiting too easily. They need to tell them to, get the forwards on the move and lower the eyes.
Bombers with 2 goals, 5 for the quarter. Richmond 3 goals, 1. It's been telling, but they're still in it up against the reigning premier, the team of the last 4 to 5 years. Caddy has it now, left half back. Tried to hand pass to Hawley. All stolen by Cox. Look to work it on to Hyde. Kicks towards full forward. Grimes again. There were 2 Bombers there on either side of him. Dylan Grimes, fantastic. Able to spoil it through for a minus score. Well, he's saved them on at least 3 occasions, and he's got the ball again as they work it towards right half back, the Tigers.
Grimes sets it up towards the wing. Merritt at the back carries it over and we'll get a throw. And what I was going to say is that I think Hind almost split the difference, didn't he? He didn't go to anyone and he didn't really go for goal either.
Yeah, it appears those options are there. Richmond are working back really hard, especially their backs, to support that longer contest. So I think the options are there for Essendon.
Umpire spins it in. Phillips slaps it down towards Parrish. Guelphy gets involved. Handball forward to Langford. Drills a low ball inside 50. Trying to find Stringer. Can't quite mark. Stringer follows up. Or Hind rather. He goes again. Now it comes out towards Hooker. Handball to Stringer now. Breaks the tackle. 40 out. Hooks across the body. And banks through the goal. The package delivers. Back to 16 points. Back-to-back goals for the Dons. 11-8-74 Richmond. Essendon 8-10-58. 26 minutes played in this third term.
I'll harp on it again, but even Langford got that ball coming through the centre of the ground. I'd like to see an Essendon forward come at him. They're still just stationary inside their forward 50, waiting for the kick to come to them. If Hooker leads at that kick, it enables him to swing and get it inside to a moving target instead of just stationary targets. So great effort by Stringer there. Individual brilliance. Just like to see them do it a little bit easier. Individual brilliance though there. Snap from 45.
He's getting involved a bit more, Stringer, this quarter, isn't he? He had a pretty quiet first half.
Chol against Phillips. Chol went early. Phillips wins it down to Parrish. Quickly kicks the ball. Little bounce just inside 450. Hyde couldn't gather. Bolter coming the other way could. Had it for the Tigers to Caddy to Hawley. Takes a bounce. Sweeps the hand pass forward. This is Martin against the opposite full in Langford. Martin kicks towards left half forward. It's off hands and spilling out the back for the Bombers to Guelphy to Redmond. Sends it back inside his defensive 50. Essendon will start again. Laverde, or Ridley rather, will have it. Ridley moves it short to Redmond once more. Time ticking away. Dying stage of the third quarter as the kick goes to Laverde now. Strapping on the left knee. Short pass goes to Stewart. Down low. Marks just above the laces on his boots. Puts those black boots in motion. Kicks towards left half back. Warstone. He's up to mark. He's got it for the Tigers. Do they have one more goal in them, Richmond? Kick back inside forward 50. Spoil came from Redmond. It spills into the corridor. Cotchin's onto it. Hand pass to Bolton. Now to Martin. You wouldn't bet against him. Oh, no, you wouldn't. Dustin Martin, he gets his second. And right before three-quarter time, the Tigers kick another. 12-8-80. So the Bombers 8-10-58. 29 minutes gone in the third on Grandstand AFL. Our experts Sharad Wellingham and David Mundy.
Just pure class. I think the pressure on the ball carrier there. Great turnover via Vlosten down here. and then just the ability to just keep the ball moving, which is what Richmond do really well. Keep the ball in motion, and then to end it up with Martin. Not many other people you want it in their hands more than Martin.
Absolutely. He's the end of their funnel, isn't he? Everything goes through him and he finishes really nicely there. But again, the Richmond key back setting up really well to influence that long down the line, get numbers to the contest and then explode from there.
2 goals in the minute before a break for Essendon. So got to stop that.
From the restart, Richmond are able to come away with it. Prestia, handball towards Edwards. Baker comes from half-back. Mops up at right half-back and kicks towards the wing, and Ridley, able to fist it away, will get a throw-in. Really hurts. You felt like Essendon were starting to come after Richmond had kicked 3 goals on the bounce. A couple of them against the flow. Umpire spins it back in. Phillips double palms it down. McIntosh wins it for Richmond, kicks them towards half forward, bouncing ball. Nobody will run it in, so we'll get a throw in, which will probably be the last act of this third term. 22 points for the final change. The umpire unfurls and sends it back into play. The siren sounds. 4 goals to 3 in that third term, the way of Richmond. And they extend their halftime lead by 1 point to lead by 22 at the final change.
One thing I would be very keen just to have a look at in that particular quarter, really interested to know in terms of inside 50 versus scores. So inside 50s went the way of Essendon 18-13, but the goals, Richmond 4 goals 1 to 3 goals 6. You don't mean to harp on about taking your opportunities, but you did get a feeling that Essendon were doing enough but just couldn't convert compared to what the Tigers were able to do when they did get those chances. 12-8-80, as Ben said, to 8-10-58. The goal kickers, they look like this. Martin's got a couple, so too Rewalt. Stanya with 2, and Graham with 2, and Coleman Jones with 2. The singles to Bolton and to Caddy. For the Bombers, 3 to Ham, singles to Phillips, Waterman, Hooker, Stringer, and Cox. It's been around this mark at every change. 19 points in Richmond's favour at quarter time, 21 at the major break, and now out to, with a quarter to play, 22 points. Richmond's lead here at Dreamtime in Perth. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital, this is Grandstand AFL.
Jack Irish is back on ABC TV and iView.
Cop just got gunned down in a drive-through burger joint.
When your past comes back to haunt you, do you hide?
Open up a can of very old worms.
Or go deep?
I can't disappear down these rabbit holes anymore.
This is what we do.
No, this is what you do. You get stuck in the past and you never let go.
Guy Pearce is Jack Irish. Final season starts June 13 on ABC TV or stream all episodes on iView.
For the latest sports results and stories from around the globe and at home, check out ABC Sport on our social pages. Just search ABC Sport wherever you scroll.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season.
Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
McDonald tip and Woody. He slices through them all. Takes a couple of bounces. Handball to Zaharakis. Zaharakis steadies. Goes short inside 50. Handball from Jones. Ham cruises in. Boots his third. Essendon get the first of the second half. Handball away to Langford. Doesn't find him though. Castagna gets it to Caddy. Now Collier Dawkins snaps towards full forward. Swooping on it, Bolton. Front and square. Snaps the goal. That is just classical roving. Front and centre. And a cool, calm, class finish. So Hines sends it out towards the southern wing. Juggling mark attempt from Guelphy. Drop. Caddy steals it. Handball to Edwards. Kicks to full forward. Castagna's there. Waltzes into an open goal and goes whack.
Graham running by, received that hand pass, worked it onto Bolton, shakes the tackle, back to Graham. Graham kicks towards goal. He kicks the major. That's gotta hurt if you're a Bombers fan. Graham's got a couple now. When they take their opportunities, Richmond, and the Bombers don't take theirs.
Now it comes out towards Hooker. Handball to Stringer now. Breaks the tackle. 40 out. Hooks across the body and banks through the goal. The package delivers. Back to 16 points.
Kick back inside forward 50. Swirl came from Redmond. It spills into the corridor. Cochin's onto it. Hand pass to Bolton. Now to Martin. You wouldn't bet against him. Oh, no, you wouldn't. Dustin Martin, he gets his second.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season.
Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Results earlier today, the Swans by 9 over the Saints. Collingwood beat Adelaide in another close one by 5 points. And while it's a 22-point margin at the moment, if Essendon are able to kick straight and take some of the chances they've been creating, this could be another single-digit result as well. I would not back against that at all. 0437 774 774. Ken's in Happy Valley in Adelaide having pizza and stout in the garage, hoping for a win to the Bombers. Thanks for getting in touch with us, Ken, and let us know where you're listening as well. 0437 774 774. Sharad Wellingham, what happens in this final term? Can Essendon get something going again, or will it be the Tigers who continue on the roll?
Yeah, I think that Essendon are going to have to throw a little bit of caution to the wind. Their exit strategy from their defensive 50s probably been what's let them down. They've been a little bit cautious. I'd love to see them just take the ball in hand, take ground in front of them. Nick Hine down there is going to be able to run like the wind. Just throw a little bit of caution to the wind. They've got to, I suppose, fix their inside 50s. If they do that, they might have a couple of better looks when they do get it inside 50. But Richmond are just going to be the class act that we know they are. They'll keep going and keep putting in the work that the way they want to play the game. So I think it's going to be a matter of Essendon just throwing a little bit of caution to the wind, taking it on.
That's been their best football tonight, especially through the midfield when they've made it up a little bit and moved the ball aggressively and fairly quickly. And as we've been mentioning throughout the call, passing it into their forwards instead of going those longer kicks.
Some of the numbers: Richmond 288 disposals, Essendon 276, 77% disposal efficiency. Richmond, Essendon 75%. The inside 50s, Essendon lead 44-37. The tackles I mentioned at half time, Essendon only had 16 to the half, 30-34 in favour of Richmond. Now the clearances 26-20 the way of Essendon. Leading ball winners on the ground as it stands at the moment, Darcy Parish with 36, and then for Richmond, Dion Prestia with 22. So the final quarter underway as Chol wins the tap, slaps it forward, tracking after it Parish. There's a free kick. It'll come back. It'll go the way of Prestia. So Prestia in the middle of the ground, pokes it inside 50. Rewalt with some separation. He marks 45 metres out, just slightly, ever so slightly right of centre. So 22 points, the Richmond advantage, courtesy of that Dustin Martin goal, right on the stroke of three-quarter time. Jack Rewalt already has a couple tonight. Looking for a third from just inside the arc. It's away to the left. Off hands. Redmond alongside his behind post, able to gather it. Handball away towards Heppel. Handball to Merritt. A little fumble. Back to Heppel, who kicks beyond defensive 50. Cox can't quite complete the mark. And out of play, we'll get a throw in at right half forward for Richmond. 22 points is the lead. The umpire spins it back in. Chol goes up high, takes it out of the ruck, accelerates away from them. Misses Martin with the handball out of play. Almost from Mabior Chol, who's shown a little bit of excitement tonight, hasn't he?
He certainly has. He started very, very well. Probably didn't continue that same train, but it's just been going very well.
Phillips slaps it down on this occasion. Merritt onto the loose footy. Has to turn and go back. Handball towards Heppel. Handball over the top. Cox gathers on the wing. Kicks on his left. shanks it out of bounds on the full. And Richmond will get it. Neutral territory on the southern wing here at Perth Stadium. 22 points, Richmond's advantage, 2 minutes into the fourth.
So Bolter, long towards right half forward, big pack up. Phillips got to it, fists it, crashing into the fence to Sharon. With ourselves a throw-in. What is to come? It's at right half forward for Richmond. Sense a goal or two for the Tigers. Could be the end of it. Chol wins it down. Phillips out after it. Met by Pickett. Got tackled by Phillips. Phillips on the deck for the Bombers. Worked it out. Came to Parrish. Now to Stringer. Muscled his way through and got a kick away. Down the southern wing. Gathered though by the Tigers. This is Broad. Broad looks to kick on switch play right back towards left half back. Oh, it's an ugly bounce of the football. Set a real task for McIntosh. Boston has to go in. Tackled by Waterman. Got the ball out. Langford picks it up for the Bombers. Hand pass back into traffic. Baker saw it between his legs and bounced through. Still Merritt working away. Finds McDonald, Tip and Woody. Now to Heppel. The Bombers are away. The kick is to Parrish. Parrish sends it long to full forward. At the back and marking Hooker. Hooker at full forward, he's right in front. This is a non-negotiable here. Cale Hooker has to go back and put this through. He could throw it over, but he needs it for the Bombers. From right in front, Hooker, the makeshift forward, enjoying his time in the spotlight, puts it into the second tier. The Bombers, they move to be back within 16 points as Hooker kicks his second. Richmond 12-8-80, Essendon 9-10-64, 4 gone in the final term on Grandstand AFL. Dreamtime in Perth. Our experts, David Mundy, Sharad Wellingham.
We're just trying to figure out who might have been the culprit for that messed up switch kick. I think it was a Broad maybe. Trying to open up the ground. Broad trying to open up the ground and just unfortunately came off the inside of the boot and just skewed off. Left a fair bit of work for McIntosh and good pressure on the play, and then, they worked the ball pretty nicely all the way down the ground.
Sorry, Sharad, each team sending an extra up to a stoppage around the ground, so playing with 5 forwards, numbering up across the ground.
So back to 16 points. And Essendon draw even closer. Out of the middle, Richmond come away with it. Martin gathers at centre half forward. Little kick, skews off the side of his boot. He tries to go and get it. Merritt gets involved. His handball knocked down. The Coleman-Jones kick smothered by Phillips. Essendon come away with the footy. Langford goes for a little run. A couple of bounces. Driving long kick towards half forward. Jones goes up through his hands out the back. Grimes there to mop up for Richmond. Gives it off to Short, who chips dangerously. Ham arrives. Spoils it down. Perkins back feeds a handball to the middle of the ground. Merritt sends the Dons inside 50. Cox was taken high. Ham takes the advantage. Kicks on goal. He's got a man there. Stringer marks. And he's taken the mark alongside the goalpost. And he settles it down. Ham took the advantage. His kick was missing. He was lucky that Stringer was there. And now Jake Stringer. He's got one tonight, has to think his way through it. He pokes it back defensively. Waterman marks. 30 metres out, slightly left of centre. It was dicey and only saved by the sticky fingers of Waterman.
I'm staggered he's kicked that one back.
It was an easier snap, wasn't it?
I think so. I think Alec will sort this one out. He's a nice left foot kick, but that almost turned into trouble.
The look of shock from Ben Rutten in the Bombers box was priceless.
So Waterman, that left foot approach, he misses away to the right, and it's a bad miss for Essendon. Oh, it's just laborious whenever they go forward, isn't it?
Exactly right.
I've already caught the commentator's curse off you boys.
You have indeed. I was about to say, write that down on debut. Commentator's curse early on.
Could be a free kick here.
Essendon free kick, is it? It'll go to Hooker.
Centre of the ground. Looks like it was Martin possibly against Merritt.
Hasn't appeared on any of the screens, so well spotted at the stadium here. Sharad Wellingham. So the shot on goal. This is a big one here for Cale Hooker. And from the left forward pocket, he's been able to put it through. They're coming, the Bombers. They're making hard work of it. But Hooker's got his third. 10-11-71 to Richmond, 12-8-80. Hooker got the free kick. He had the advantage. He kicked the goal. It's a 9-point game now. The Tigers still hanging on, though. 8 minutes gone in the final term.
And didn't he love it? There was more celebration and more passion than we've seen all night, I reckon, the big fella. Drilled that one. Great kick. And we're seeing it on screens here now. But the double fist pump, get the guns out. We love that.
He did give everyone 2 tickets to the gun show. Oh, just sheer absolute delight from Cale Hooker.
It's as close as Essendon have been since the 14-minute mark of the first term. Back in the middle, Richmond try to come away with it. Merritt dives over the footy. Coleman Jones shovels it out. Parrish arrives, feeds back a handball to Ridley, throws it on the right boot, tumbles it to half forward, bouncing ball. Hooker slaps it on, says chase after it. McDonald Tipperwoody does. It might fall to his advantage. Gathers in the pocket. Sells some candy, centres it, they're queuing up, and the mark is taken. Langford drags it in. And those wearing the red sash, they rise around the ground.
Isn't it incredible when you take the game on, what happens, what falls your way? Hooker just putting his big mitts on it, hitting it forward. The ball spills out to Tipper and puts on a bit of a show and does the rest.
So Langford, the man on the mark, 30 out directly in front. Donald Tipperwoody comes for a break. It's warm applause, but all eyes on Langford. Comes in, drills it! It's a 3-point ball game. And Essendon are challenging the champs. 12-8-80. Plays 11-11-77. It's a thriller in the Dreamtime game in Perth. David Mundy, Sharad Wellingham.
Well, momentum's a wonderful thing in football and you want to be coming home with it. So Essendon in a prime position here. Looking at the stats, it's really condensed. It's quick footy and there's not too much possession happening. So it's going to be whoever can get it in there and make the most of it. Just watching the replay now, it looks as though the previous goal for Hooker may have been off the back of a strike against Martin. So interesting to see what happens with that as well.
You heard it here first, calling at the ground on Grandstand AFL. The TV's a while to pick it up as Hind. I'll get the clearance here, the Bombers. It comes through Cox, back to Hind. Just breaks away from the attempted Tigers tackle to Merritt. Kicks long towards full forward. Up. He couldn't mark Jones. Running through Waterman. They're in front. How on earth can this be? Essendon. They hit the fronts at the 11-minute mark of the final term. Waterman has his second. Incredible. 12-8-80 Richmond, 12-11-83 Essendon. It spilled for him, and Waterman this time took the opportunity.
At pace. Hit that contest at pace. You love it as a forward when you can see a contest from your key forwards and you can just hit that contest at pace. That's good football from Muddy Waterman there.
A nice little soft drop for him out the back. Essendon really dominating the stoppages and the contests around the ground, dominating inside 50s on the back of that. Richmond midfielders really have to stand up here.
He couldn't kick the one that matters. Oh, there's too long to go. I was saying he couldn't do it again for a second week in a row.
Well, he still might.
He might.
That's true.
It's their first lead of the night. Phillips up in the middle, knocks it down. Trying to come away with it is Perkins. He can't. It's held in, holding the ball. Says Dean Margetts.
Presti got that out pretty quick as soon as the whistle went.
Yeah, Prestia rips it out. Kicks inside attacking 50. Francis goes up. Has a lot of it. Free kick. Advantage paid. Snap on goal is missing away to the right. Arts taking the advantage and missing. Damien Hardwick. I think I just read his lips. Who was that?
He'll be having his bed down for the week, Arts, I think.
Wow, what a finish. Stream time in Perth. We did promise you one at three-quarter time. They're delivering it too. Heppel to Langford, who marks right where the 50's painted on the ground. He's on the defensive 50. He'll go short. Pops it to Heppel, who continues to run up the ground. He'll kick now towards the logo. Perkins marks now again. Still just 19 years of age. One of a number of these Bombers, youngsters who are so promising. Will kick towards right half forward, backing back. Parrish didn't know who was behind him, but was able to take the mark, got some protection from Hooker as Bolter was trying to just close down him. Parrish will put it into the right forward pocket. 2-on-1 against Stringer. Out the back, Hine though tries to chase it down. The ball tumbles across the boundary line to the relief of Hooley and Baker and a number of other Tigers in the vicinity. There's a throw-in, 25 out from Essendon's goal. They're kicking to the right of our broadcast position, the city end in this final term. 13 minutes gone, and it's still the Bombers by 2.
A spot in the 8 is on the line. Neither ruckman touches it. Bounce favours Edwards, gets it away to Camden McIntosh. Clears for the Tigers, but Phillips is there. That traditional ruck roll, playing a kick behind the ball. He takes the mark, and he's got it on this northern wing. Stabs it short. Finds the skipper in Heppel. Leads dart everywhere. Heppel gives off a handball to Ridley. He'll just set it up. The pack will form. They'll launch from all angles. No mark taken. Knocked out of the pack. Parrish goes after it. Handball away. Ham in the pocket. Handball to Stringer, who snaps on goal and floats it across the face, out of bounds on the full. So Richmond will get it back in the left back pocket. 2 points, Essendon's lead. 12-11-83, plays 12-9-81. 14 minutes, 23 travelled, fourth term. A thriller out west in the Dreamtime game.
They've kicked the past 4 goals. The Essendon Football Club, as Hooley goes beyond defensive 50. Ridley got a fist to it coming in from the side. There's a free kick being spotted here. I was going to say Heppel saw it over the boundary line, but it's coming back. It'll be taken here. A chance to move it on from Coleman Jones. Gives it to Short, and Short goes short once more to McIntosh. Puts the blue boots in motion, kicks long towards left half forward. Rising, Ridley couldn't mark. Oh, it spills down. Arts has it. Here's a chance for Richmond. Kick short, that was clever. Oh, so clever. When he could have blazed away for goal, he went short to Castagna, who was marked on a 45-degree angle. He's no more than 20 out. This will put the Tigers back in front. If he can kick his third, Jason Castagna. He'll go around. He'll snap it goal. Richmond back in front. Castagna's got 3. Clever play then from Arts on this occasion. Went short, found his teammate who was able to convert. It's a 4-point ball game to the Tigers' advantage. 13-9-87 Richmond. Essendon 12-11-83. 16 gone in the final term on Grandstand AFL, on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital around the nation.
It was a contest just outside 50. A couple of the Essendon defenders really needed to impact it, bring the ball forward. They just allowed it to get over the back, and then, like you said, Clint, Arts running onto that, and really, really nice finish. Just that deft touch to put in front of Castagna.
Yeah, summed it up really well. The contest on a Richmond perspective was from Jack Rewalt, absolute veteran, obviously. Was able to bring that ball to ground, generate the play from there.
55,656, the official crowd. Bit short of the record, but a great turnout nevertheless.
Phillips slaps it down from the restart. Parrish kicks Essendon inside 50. No one able to mark on the lead. Ball ricochets away. Parrish goes again. Hooley slaps it to the advantage of Bolton. Handball to Pickett. Look out, McDonald, Tip and Woody coming. Pickett slips over. He's able to get the handball away from the pressure. Out to Baker, who sends it to the southern wing. And the goal kicker, Castagna. He'll come inboard to Baker again. the boy from Lake Grace. Safe to say, David, their most famous footballer they've produced.
I'd love to see it. Look at his face in their pub. Absolutely.
Of course, the hometown of Nathan Fyfe and Mark Bairstow as well. And the Mortons too, I think, as Cooley sends it inside 50 for Richmond. No mark taken. At the back, Redmond. Handball away to Heppel. Now Ridley wants to thump it long. Hooker's trying to make some big strides. Vlosten underneath it. And Vlosten marks for the Tigers.
Gets told to play on. Kicks into the left forward pocket. Ruot front position. Spoiled down by Francis Ruot. Gets a kick away there. Oh, Bolton steps around. Snaps the goal. Shea Bolton. He's got his second. And they show again why they're the defending premier. 14-9-93 the Tigers, 12-11-83 the Bombers, 18 gone in a classic Dreamtime game here in Perth. Wowee.
Yeah, the heavyweight that just won't hit the deck, will they? They just won't go down.
Such good structure. They're behind the ball, setting up, enabling Vlosten to get in line with the ball and take an uncontested mark on the Essendon exit here. And a couple of WA boys have been in the right place at the right time to kick goals. Alex Waterman at one end, Shai Bolton at the other. It's turned into an absolute cracker.
What about the effort to get the ball away from Phillips? Here you go. I know you don't. Bolton then snapped truly. Wonderful play.
And before someone corrects me, I know Baker's from Pingering, Lake Grace, the next biggest centre. But still counts for mine as Richmond come away with it from the restart. McIntosh chases after it on the wing. Handball towards Bolton. And he gets a bump from Redmond. Out of play it goes.
As a Lake Grace area product, why wasn't he from Claremont? He got drafted from Subiaco, didn't he, Baker?
Yeah, I think he started out at West Perth, I believe, and then went to Subiaco. So I'm totally sure Shaz is the answer, the long answer. As Edwards wins it for Richmond, gives it off to Graham. Graham thumps it towards full forward. Rewalt there. Francis brings it to ground, has to follow up. Under pressure, Richmond swarming. There's a free kick. It'll go the way of Francis. He was taken high. So Francis at fullback. Essendon down by 10 points. Having headed Richmond, they led by 3.
Kick long beyond offensive 50. They're able to get it away quickly here. It's pumped by Langford towards right half forward, and then an intercept mark comes to Baker. Moves it short to Vlosten, and then moves it again to Caddy. Caddy is able to mark. He's at left half forward. 10 points the Tigers lead by. Caddy wheels around and then kicks inside forward 50. No mark taken. Sat there for Martin, tackled by Guelphy over the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in. 55 out from the Tigers' attacking goal at the Graham Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium, and Guelphy and Martin involved in a little bit of push and shove afterwards. I know he's got the height and weight advantage in that battle. 3-time Norm Smith winner. Down to Phillips. To Parrish. Tigers get it though through Edwards. Kicks off the outside of the boot. Martin! The flight of the football, it was twirling over his right shoulder, and he was able to dive forward and mark at the top of the attacking 50 for the Tigers. He looks to play on. Kicks long and high. Will it have the carry? It's a thumping kick. It's an enormous kick. It's a massive goal. That'll be the ceiling, you'd reckon. And it comes off the boot of who else? Dustin Martin. He's got 3. 15-9-99. 12-11-83. 21 minutes gone in the final term on Grandstand AFL.
And against conventional wisdom, it almost felt like Richmond wrestled back momentum of the contest and the stoppage there when they had Pickett in the ruck.
Yep.
Goes against everything you would have thought against Phillips, the Essendon ruckman, but they've got Scholl back in now.
I love just seeing Martin as he was getting up off the deck too, just signal to Graham, just put a little block on for me. And he went behind the man on the mark, and Dustin just knew he had the distance covered, and a great finish.
Well, the champs show why they're the champs. As Clint said, 3 straight goals to respond to Essendon's 4 on the bounce. Scholl wins it in the middle. Handball towards Edwards. He kicks Richmond inside 50. Looking for Bolton, who leaps up and marks.
Oh, Dean.
Oh, there's a push. Dean Margetts with no sense of
occasion.
He almost jumped into the back and took a hanger on Jack Rewalt, as if to say, don't steal my mark of the year. Graham wins it back for Richmond. Now kicks towards full forward. Rewalt tackled, loses possession at full forward for the Tigers. Graham gets a handball out. Bolton spinning, twisting on his left. Says, you take away my kick, I'll do it myself. And Shea Bolton with his third makes sure of it for Richmond. 16-9, 105. They lead Essendon 12-11-83. 23 minutes played in the fourth.
Well, he zigzagged, he's gone, turned, he's wiggled. He might have done some sort of dance move, but he's found a little pocket of space in the forward 50 and nailed a goal.
Finished on his left too, after all of that pirouetting and dancing around. To have the balance and goal sense where they were, an amazing finish by Shea Bolton there.
He's like a cat.
He
just doesn't go to ground, keeps his feet. Beautiful finish.
That's what they tell us in Auskick. Don't go to ground, keep your feet. It's easier for some than others, unfortunately.
From the bounce, he's still playing Auskick, Ben. One down by Phillips. Right height, I admit. Comes out to Merritt. The Bombers looking to respond. Merritt sends it inside the attacking 50 and Perkins marks right in front of goal. He needs to get a hurry on. Time is ticking away. 24 minutes gone in the final term. He's right in front. This kick will have to carry all of about 52. Perkins, 2-6 for the season coming into tonight. From bang on 50, sends it on its way. It's out to the right. It misses to the right. A minor score. 12-12, 84 the Bombers. 16-9, 105 Richmond. 24 gone in the fourth.
So Vlosten in the back pocket. Chips it short to Broad. And Broad will go back to Vlosten. Right back pocket. Kicks to Grimes at fullback. 21 points, Richmond's advantage. Essendon kicked the first 4 goals of the fourth. Richmond have responded with the next 4. We're virtually back where we were at three-quarter time as Broad receives it at left half-back. Goes back to Vlosten, top of the defensive goal square for the Tigers, and out to Short, who has a little bit of room. Ambles for a little run, chips it over the top, and Arts will lead up and mark on his chest. He'll move it on quickly. Now Richmond down that southern wing. Castagna. 2 good kicks from goal. Castagna happy to just skip back off the mark. Take a little bit of energy out of it. Chips it short to Arts again. So Arts just assesses what's before him. Goes short. Too short. Who thumps it long to full forward. Looking for Rewalt. A couple of juggles. Can't quite complete it. Stewart arrives for Essendon. Shovels out a handball. Getting back Parrish. Mobs up in the back pocket. Pokes it to Ridley. And Ridley's got it in the defensive goal square. Richmond by 21. 25 minutes into the fourth.
Ridley, short kick to Laverde. Stands just at the top of his defensive goal square. He'll look to come to the commentary wing. Gets the kick away. Good pack underneath. Flying up was Bolter. Spill down to Pickett. Worked it forward by hand. Back to Bolter. Gathered the bouncing footy. Bolter runs from 50. Kicks towards goal. They are finishing this game in absolute style, the Premiers. They've kicked the past 5. And their lead is now out to 27 points. 17-9, 111. Essendon 12-12, 84. 26 gone in the fourth. Remember that Essendon had all the momentum at the 11-minute mark. They hit the front to lead by 3. Since then, it has been all those in yellow and black.
It was almost as if Richmond had just gone, oh, no, you don't. Come back here. the powerhouse that they are. They just got so much confidence in the way they play. Their confidence in knowing that the teammate who's at the ball is going to win it and then they can go. This enables them to play such free football.
Absolutely. They structure up really well. Really well.
27 points. Noel Bolter's second goal in AFL footy as Chol wins it down out of the middle. Straight towards Graham. He then loses it, has to apply the tackle, comes out to Martin, who kicks towards half forward, looking for Castagna. Picks it up on the bounce. Handball back to McIntosh. McIntosh handball under pressure to Castagna. And now Short hooks across his body. Bouncing ball. Coming up and able to pick it up. There for Essendon. Stewart gives it off towards Heppel. There's a free kick. It'll come back. And Stewart will have to take it at left half back. So Stewart kicks around the southern wing towards Ham. Off hands at the back. Hooker's there. Gives it off to Hine. Tries to show his dash. Couldn't quite walk the tightrope of the boundary line and carries it out. We'll get a throw in. Ash Nelson downstairs.
Guys, it looks like the medical sub has been enacted for Richmond. So Daniel Rioli coming on for Dean Pressia. Just confirming, it does look like it might be a hamstring injury. He has got a history of hamstring injuries.
Thank you, Ash. Ash Nelson downstairs as Richmond will bring it forward again. Cochin to Castagna. Hand passes for Pickett to run onto. Looks to measure the kick inside forward 50. Redmond got a hand to it. Couldn't mark. Spilled down to Revolt. Hand pass meant again for Pickett. Went behind him. Phillips slipped the hand pass it out. Or Stewart rather. Back into traffic. Players dive on top of the footy. It'll be a ball up. Deep in the left forward pocket for the Tigers. Who are on their way to making it 11 straight wins over the Bombers. And 7 straight in the Dreamtime game. From the restart, knocked out by Cox. The Tigers will end up with it again. This is Bolton. Oh, that's a lovely pass. He's been able to spot Caddy just inside forward 50. There's about 3 or 4 options he could go to. And he finds McIntosh all on his own in the right forward pocket. Couldn't believe it. A chance for him to kick his first goal of the season. It's gone from pressure to party time. As far as Richmond is concerned, they were absolutely under the pump and they have responded magnificently. Camden McIntosh, originally from the Peel Thunder Football Club. McIntosh from 45 out. He kicks his first of the season. And they come from everywhere to celebrate with him. The Tigers are making it look like smooth sailing now. Their lead is 33 points. They piled on 30 of those since the Bombers led at the 11-minute mark of this term. 18-9, 117. Essendon 12-12, 84 on Grandstand AFL. We've gone past the half-hour mark.
Yeah, Richmond really controlled this game over the last few minutes. First working the ball from their back line really methodically, finding the free all the way up and to get a really deep forward entry. And from there, they've been able to lock it in. A couple of forward half turnovers and just those repeat entries, able to find that spare on the open side.
Prestia looking slightly dejected in the dugout. Not a great sign.
There's a bad history of soft tissues, isn't he?
It's a little glum as Chol taps it down. Merritt for Essendon though. His handball errant, holding the ball. Richmond take the advantage. Chol goes short, looking for Rewalt. Past him it goes. Stewart tracks it back, soccers it towards the boundary. And we'll get a throw in. Left forward pocket here for the Tigers. Really just playing out time now. Dream time in Perth. Umpire brings it back in. Rewald out of the ruck. Gives it off to Rioli, the Medi sub. Bounces it towards goal. Redmond will track it back. And he mops up on the last line for the Dons as he flares it towards right half back.
But it will bounce in the direction of Pickett. Broke one tackle and then got away from Guelphy. Hand passes to the hot spot. Rioli just on the ground. Kicks a goal for the Tigers. We should have expected nothing less. It's all Richmond. They are romping away with it. 19-9, 123 to 12-12, 84. 32 minutes gone in the fourth. And when challenged, the Tigers, they just flex their muscles.
We've kept saying it, but Essendon's inability to clear their defensive 50 with any purpose, or even if they don't have a purpose, just keep the ball moving. It's like they're just dumping it out there and expecting to be able to, I don't know, move the ball from the highest pressure team that is Richmond with ease. It's just not going to happen. Great turnover goal, Pickett keeping the ball moving, just a handball, haphazard handball, didn't see anybody, but was just willing to put it at the top of the goal square.
Not a bad way to enter the game either.
He looks pretty zippy too, doesn't he?
Come on, fresh. That's the way to do it. Run past blokes as Chol palms it down towards Martin. Essendon trying to fight in the middle as Collier Dawkins looking to win a free kick. He does. He's taken high. So Collier Dawkins gives it off to Martin. They might have more goals in them here, Richmond. Trying to shrug their tackle his arts. Goes back to Collier Dawkins, who kicks towards full forward. Chol's in good position. Juggles it. Can't complete the mark. And he's ripped off it. Fighting after it is Bolton. Handball away. Clever little tap from Rewalt. Rioli tracks it. He's tackled. Jams it on the boot. It goes straight up and down. Full forward here for Richmond as Stewart clears momentarily. Fighting after it, Bolton. He leaves it behind. And eventually it's extracted by Ambrose. Then Ridley knocks it out towards McDonald, Tipungwuti. He zigs and zags to Ambrose, and Martin will pick it up.
Martin had it ripped from his grasp though. Comes to Stringer, hand passes backwards, still under immense pressure here. The Bombers, Ridley back to Parrish, gets a kick away. Comes down the commentary wing, stretching for it. Baker couldn't mark. Jones out after it. Baker mops up, threw it with a hand pass over his head. When challenged, the Tigers responded and showed again why they are the Premier. Richmond make it 11 straight against the Bombers. They win dream time in Perth by 39 points.
Risking head and shin, if we're behind then never mind, we'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We never weaken till the final siren's gone. Like the tiger of old, we're strong and we're bold.
Was Richmond's lead at quarter time. They put that to 21 at half time and then 22 at three-quarter time. Essendon stormed back, and at the 11-minute mark of the final term, the Bombers had hit the front. They led by 3 points, but from that moment onwards, it was all Richmond storming away to win 19-9, 123 to Essendon, 12-12, 84. Their 7th straight win in the games of Dreamtime.
A fighting fury, we're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and shin. If we're behind then never mind, we'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We never weaken till the final siren's gone. Like the tiger of old, we're strong and we're bold, for we're from Tigerland.
'Their fans have said for some time, don't write us off, despite the up and down start they've had to the season. They move up into 7th now with their 7th win of 2021. And Richmond, when they play like that in the final term, wow, that is breathtaking. For the Tigers, 3 to Martin, 3 to Rewalt, 3 to Bolton, 2 to Coleman Jones, 2 to Graham. And then going through the others, Rioli with 1, Bolter with 1, Caddy with 1, and McIntosh with 1. Beg your pardon, Jack, you've got 2. I'm trying to get a bit excited for you. Essendon, multiple goal kicker, Braden Ham with 3, Alex Waterman with 2, Cale Hooker with 3, singles to Phillips, to Stringer, to Cox, and to Langford. Let's head downstairs for the on-ground official announcements.
The Yuccan Award Yayukin is a word from the Woiwurrung language of the Wurundjeri people, which means dreaming. Would you now please welcome to announce this year's winner, Michael Long.
The winner of the Yayukin Award from Essendon was Darcy Parish. Thank you.
So Darcy Parish wins his first Yayukin Award on the losing side tonight, but nevertheless magnificent again with 44 disposals.
The winner of the medal tonight is from the Essendon Football Club. It's Darcy Parish. Thank you.
Darcy Parish stands, and to the encouragement of his teammates, will make his way across, we believe, to say a few words. The microphone is set up. He receives the boomerang that is the Yayukin Award.
First of all, just like to thank the Tigers. Unbelievable team, and they've been a benchmark for the years, and just shows us what the best is like, and a long way to go for us, but all the credit to our boys tonight. We're up for the fight for the majority of it, and couldn't be prouder. Thanks for everyone for coming out tonight too. Awesome turnout, and I'd just like to say thanks to the AFL for getting this up and running, and all the loved ones back home who supported us through this. We'll see you soon. Cheers.
So the Bombers.
I would now like to welcome Trent Cotchin to say a few words.
Bombers with the bye next week as Trent Cotchin makes his way to the microphone.
Yeah, first and foremost, well done to the Essendon Bombers. Obviously a fantastic effort. You've been on a really good run. Credit to our boys in the way that we fought it out to the end. To the crowd, amazing numbers, incredible support over here in Perth. Thank you so much for coming out. And to both clubs, the AFL and the WA government, for having us here today. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again next week.
They will indeed, against West Coast on Sunday. Kevin Sheedy Cup will be presented eventually at some stage to the Richmond Football Club, who were so impressive in that final term. Trent Cotchin, who tonight, alongside Jack Revolt, adding a 13th Dreamtime game to his illustrious career. No player or no players have played in more than Revolt and Trent Cotchin. What an emphatic way to finish the game by the Richmond Football Club. What did you make of it? David Mundy, Sharad Wellingham. Your coach used to say, your former coach used to talk about, what is momentum? Yeah. I thought we saw a bit of it tonight, and then all of a sudden it was momentum all in the opposite direction.
It was like watching the big brother play with the little brother a bit then, wasn't it? The game plan that Essendon are trying to implement, Richmond just being better at it, being more adept at, I suppose, overcoming adversity through the game. That huge wrestle back of momentum that we spoke about. It was a great effort by Essendon, but the maturity of Richmond to just be able to go, all right, let's switch back into gear, and then to come away with a 39-point win just definitely goes to show the big brother.
It's incredible. You're blinking at 39 points, isn't it? I think ultimately Richmond just played their way for more of the game, obviously, and we're able to wear out and wear through Essendon's pressure. Gallant all night, Essendon, but just committing a lot of numbers to the football. Richmond, I thought the theme of the night, were able to really work their way through that pressure and access their free players both through the corridor and then moving the ball forward, and much more efficient moving the ball forward and in front of goal.
Yeah, they going forward when they didn't just bomb it. Essendon they bombed it when going inside forward 50 and allowed Richmond's midfielders to press back and get numbers back inside their defensive 50 and then just swarm it out. I don't think there's really too many options for them to look at either. I feel like the Essendon forwards were maybe a little bit stagnant, maybe playing a little bit too deep, and I don't know, maybe should have tried to play up higher and try and get them out the back because they did have the ability to get some long kicks, but something they'll have to look at going forward.
What did you make of how the styles collided outside of Essendon's wastefulness going forward? We know that they're a little bit of an imitator of what Richmond have done. It's a copycat league. We understand that. How did you think they sort of melded together tonight?
Main ones, neither of them are really good at clearances, and they were pretty level at it. When you look at the numbers at the end, 34 to Richmond, 32 to Essendon. Neither of them were really amazing from the clearance. It was all turnover, built off pressure.
Absolutely. Clearances are even, inside 50s pretty even, tackles pretty even. I think the real difference in the game was how Richmond, when they got hands on their ball, were able to work their way through that pressure and be efficient moving forward. And then off the back of moving the ball forward, how they were able to sit up behind it and really own the football in their forward half with some forward half turnovers.
And I think, to borrow the phrase that Darcy Parish used with us post-game last week, their blitz pressure wasn't at its highest level. 16 tackles in the first half, an average this year of 64 per game. So they're maybe a little bit off it, not quite at the same level as they were last week against West Coast. We felt like watching the game last week that you could tell, even when they were 4 goals behind against West Coast, they were on right from the start. Tonight they weren't quite right up at that level, and Richmond were able to open up a little bit of a buffer, and then obviously Essendon came back and Richmond blew them away.
Yeah, a big factor of that, I think, is Andrew McGrath. Losing him early in the first quarter to that apparent hamstring injury. He's a big part of their pressure games through the midfield, and it's an area he's really stepped up in this year. And I think as the game wore on, a lot was left to Parish, Merritt in particular. And I think if they had Andrew McGrath, it may have made a bit of a difference.
Yeah, just a little bit of housekeeping while I remember. He finished with the knee brace on his knee, so maybe a knee for McGrath. And David Zaharakis, I think, did his hammy as well. So he just pointed to his hammy late.
So the Tigers have stormed home and they win by 39 points. Let's head down into the Richmond rooms for the club song.
Jack's numbers dropped.
Have to find themselves a new change room next week. Tigers, when they're back, because they use the West Coast Eagles club rooms tonight, they'll have to shift across to the Fremantle rooms. They'll go back to Sydney and then return to Perth. The AFL officially announcing earlier today that game, which was going to be the Thursday night game in round 14, has been moved forward to round 13, allowing Richmond to come back and play West Coast. That'll be a Sunday afternoon game here at Perth Stadium. The Tigers will be going in red-hot form after that.
It wasn't a strong rendition, was it? It takes a little bit to get excited when you're a 3-time premiership group. You know, even a big Dreamtime game doesn't quite get you going like big finals.
No, you're exactly right. It's a not that you're going through the motions when you go down there and sing it, but you just kind of probably want to get in there and get your meeting over and done with and
do your media and get out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it was a very workmanlike performance by Richmond tonight.
Yeah.
Nobody really shined a particularly bright light. It was pretty even performance across the board, and they just did what they had to as the game unfolded and found themselves in front.
Exactly right. I mean, it was pretty hard to... I mean, Parish was, for mine, a pretty standout best on with the 44 disposals and really did try to drag his team through. But then when you flick across to Richmond, it was a really, really even spread. Plenty of goal kickers, plenty of multiple goal kickers. Midfield was pretty even in their, the way they accumulated the footy. And just a really even spread, which is what you want from a nice, mature team.
Which has been their strength across their really successful years, I think. And I still find it amazing when the game's on the line, how often, particularly for Richmond, the ball lands in Martin's hands or Bolton's hands now, and more. They just find themselves in the right spot and they're able to execute.
He's taken his game to a totally another level, I reckon, Bolton.
Shea Bolton, yeah. He's been fantastic. And I'm sure there's a few Fremantle fans in WA who are thinking, son of a former Fremantle player, why couldn't he be wearing the purple with the white chevrons? But, yeah, he looks every bit a star now. I missed I think it was only
missed
two games with that broken wrist with the nightclub incident, but a genuine star for Richmond. Just on Darcy Parish, won the medal. We spoke mid-game about the fact he could do the double and win the Anzac Day medal into the Oyukan Award, and he's done that now. But, by gee, he's putting a season together now. 44 possessions today, 36 last week. He's averaging over 30 this year. 9 coaches' votes last week. 23, played 104 games. Conveniently out of contract at the end of this year and just coming into that sweet spot of form.
You always manage to put in a good year when you're coming out of contract.
It's amazing.
You've been doing that for the last 5 or 6 years.
It's amazing how often it happens. Worked really hard all day. Played 87% game time.
Is that the thing that's changed in his game, just his work rate? I mean, you guys would look at this sort of stuff when you're preparing to play Essendon. What's been the development in his game?
Yeah, well, I think he's just moved into the midfield a fair bit, along with McGrath. They've been given a bit more responsibility through there and are playing more game time in there. And
Zaharakis is spending a lot more time out in the wing, which has freed up a spot in there. He was spending a bit of time, Heppel down back, because Parish was spending a fair bit of time down back and forward.
Yeah.
So now, just planting him in the middle, he's just taking it with both hands.
And he's been in the system for a few years now, so he's been able to build that resilience in his body and his aerobic capacity. Because his performance tonight hasn't been a one-off. He's been doing this week in, week out, almost all year. So it's an incredibly large workload, and he's doing it incredibly well.
It's always good to get out of Death Valley, that high half-forward role.
Graveyard shift, just watching it go over your head.
Get a sore neck.
It's not a great spot to be. Very fitting as well, we should say, that a Rioli came on and kicked the goal, as Clint called at the end. I think football's royal family just about the Rioli, so it was a little bit flattening that Daniel had the had the sub vest on. We don't have that anymore. He was the Medi sub, and fitting he was able to come on late and hit the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, what did he come on with? Maybe 5 minutes ago, 8 minutes
late
ago,
last,
and he just you'd love to come that fresh through the whole game, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a bit
that fresh. He was just zipping around everywhere.
Let's head down into the Richmond rooms, and he was under pressure for a fair bit of that final term, indeed a fair bit of the night, and was outstanding as well when Richmond needed someone in defence. Dylan Grimes, good enough to chat with us here on Grandstand AFL. Congratulations to you, Dylan.
Hey, thanks very much. Thanks for having me as well.
What did it mean for the Tigers tonight, when challenged, to be able to respond like that?
Yeah, I think it's a sign of a mature side. I reckon they can, fight back when the momentum's going the other way. But I thought it was great fight from Essendon to work their way back into the game. When, I think they're probably, I'm not sure the exact score, but they're probably 30 points down. It takes real grit to work back into our game. So. It was great for Green time as well, real arm wrestle, and I'm just really proud of the boys for being able to run it out.
How did you find the stadium? It's been, nearly more than 2 years since you've been over here, and we know that you'll be here again next week as well.
Yeah.
The actual playing here at Perth Stadium, we noticed Dustin Martin had to change his boots, and there was a few little players slipping over. What was it like out there tonight?
Yeah, it was a little bit slippery. I think the dew kind of settled in sort of around half-time, but yeah, it's a great stadium. Geez, there was some atmosphere around, and 56 felt like 100 out on the field. It was awesome. So great spectacle for the game. Dreamtime at the G is one of the games that you really look forward to as a player. But to have it over here was just as special. So I love playing over here, and I'm looking forward to coming back in a week's time.
Our experts tonight on Grandstand AFL and ABC Radio, Sharad Wellingham and David Mundy. Got a few questions for you, Dylan.
David Mundy here, mate. It was a pleasure to watch you tonight, and particularly the back six. You guys really work and set up well together. How did you find working in tonight with your fellow backs?
Yeah, I think tonight was we had some different challenges. I think defensively we were actually not too bad, but I felt like offensively we really didn't exactly play the best footy in the first half, and certainly in the last quarter. I think when the pressure got on, we played a little bit safe there, but then started to work back into the game. But the connection there is great. We've played a lot of footy together now, but I think there's certainly big improvements to come and a lot of learnings for this week.
Dylan, Sharad, congratulations. Sharad here, I should say. Congratulations on the win, mate. Your I suppose, confidence, you mentioned it, your confidence in your ability to fight back when you are behind. Does that come through, I suppose, just having done it, or do you guys work through a lot of structural stuff and gameplay during training during the week? Just talk us through, I suppose, your mindset when you are behind like that.
Yeah, sure. So we just try and reinforce the process. Like whether you're 100 points up or 30 points down or momentum's, swinging their way, you can only control, your role. You really can't affect momentum in a big way, but all you can do is execute the little things. So when players, feel a bit rattled or, the momentum swings the other way or the crowds get involved or whatever, the message as leaders is just to really nail the process. Let's go back to fundamentals, get that right, and then play from there. Because, that's really all you can control as a player. So that's where we choose to put our focus.
So you've got a really, I suppose, good window in front of you with some really winnable games. Have you guys started focusing? Have you guys broken the season up into blocks? And I suppose you're nearly at the midway season now. Do you look at this next probably 4 or 5 games as a really important patch for you as a club?
Yeah, I think, we haven't really broken the season up into blocks yet. Everything's been so up in the air. So we didn't even know whether we were flying back to Melbourne or whether we were flying back to Sydney until a couple of hours before the game. So, we're kind of having to be pretty agile and pretty fluid at the moment. But, you're right. It's going to be a massive month for us ahead. For us to really, cement a spot in the finals, we really need to win some of these games that we've got coming up. And, I think the exciting thing is we've been tested against some really good oppositions in the first half of the year, taking some huge learnings. So, really hoping that we can apply those learnings over the next kind of 4 to 6 weeks.
Dylan, it's Ben Cameron here. Where do you find these guys? I mean, you lose Tom Lynch, you find Callum Coleman-Jones, you have an issue with Nank, and you're able to bring in Mabi Achol, who we know a little bit, but it just feels like, one soldier down, another soldier up, and guys continue to show up for Richmond.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky with our depth, I've got to say, and we've had a couple of guys that have really been challenging over the last couple of years for a spot, but just haven't been able to, get that opportunity. And I'm just loving to see guys like CJ and Marbs, step up and grab the opportunity with 2 hands. But to keep them kind of focused, again, it comes back to that process piece. We can have a soldier go down, a really important player like Tom Lynch, but I've got a player ready that knows the structures inside out, knows the process inside out, and is able to step up and execute when we need him. So I think that's a real strength of the side, and as we spoke about before, good sign of maturity to be able to execute when you get the opportunity.
Dylan, we really appreciate your time. We know you've got to go to a meeting. Hope to see you back here. Well, I'm sure we will see you back here next week.
Yeah, see you in a week, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Good on you. Dylan Grimes there. He was, well, I reckon he was responsible for turning probably 3 goals into 2 rush behinds and a mark on the line right when the Bombers are going. So we look about how, and they really did, that Richmond just said, well, we're just going to put the foot on the accelerator here. But if they're 3 more goals and it's not a 3-point advantage that Essendon have, it's a little bit more. Would they have been able to come back like that? These are the questions we'll never know. But he was key when it was required, when they were seriously under the cosh tonight.
Absolutely. The Graham stopper was great tonight.
You're adopting it.
I think it's stuck, yeah. And he's been the constant back there through these really successful years. So he's the one setting the other guys up. And when the new guys come in for 1 or 2 games, when injuries pop up or whatever, he's the one that's really driving their back six and setting them up behind the ball. So it was a pleasure to watch.
He just looks so unsuspecting as well, and he always has. It's just, if you were to see him in the street, you go, oh, that's not the bloody fullback, unstoppable defender from Richmond, but he just manages to get the job done week in, week out, which is, a real credit to him.
He's got a beautiful ability, I think, to make that decision of, do I let my man go into the contest and into the chaos and be that spare behind the ball, or do I assert and get line of ball and impact the contest in front of me? And he's been doing it for a long time.
Incredible fight back from them. Again, I know I'm going on about it, but Essendon hit the front. They had all the momentum. What have they kicked in a row, Ben? Four goals in a row?
So, I mean, it was bizarre because, for most of the night, it wasn't quite goal for goal. Richmond had a couple of times where they kicked a couple in a row and one patch where they kicked 3. But it was sort of roughly no great runs from either team. Then Essendon kicked 4 on the bounce to start the final term and hit the front. And you thought, oh, geez, they're coming home with a wet sail here. And it looks like they're going to surge to victory. And Richmond booted the final 7 to win by 39 points. So, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes, but
it was emphatic, was what it was. And again, I think, as we've said throughout, and you said it was, they just decided, well, we've we've had enough of this. We're just going to show you, everyone, there's a reason why we've won 3 premierships in the past 4 years, and we're just going to put it on now. We'll get the votes very shortly, but before we get all the votes, let's have a little look at all the numbers. The one that matters most, of course, Essendon 12-12-84, beaten by the Tigers 19-9-123 in front of a crowd of 55,656. Ben Cameron's got them for us. Ben.
So 380 disposals for Richmond to Essendon's 348. Disposal efficiency, Richmond 76%, Essendon 75%. The marks, Richmond 112, Essendon 91. Inside 50s, Essendon 53 to 52. Contested possessions plus 13, Richmond. Clearances plus 2, Richmond as well. Leading disposal winners on the ground, miles ahead of the rest. Darcy Parish with 44, Daylight second, Zach Merritt 32, Langford 28. A more even spread for Richmond. Dustin Martin with 27. And then Dion Prestia, who finished out of the game with a suspected hamstring injury, 26. Jaden Short with 23 for Richmond.
So let's get the votes, and then I'll run through all the votes. Sharad Wellingham was one of those voting in the Yukin medal. Sharad, who are you voting tonight? Are you going to pass it over to the debutante?
Well, I've already handed in my votes.
All right. So
you just double them up.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Let's see.
I want to see if they're the same as what mine are.
Well, these will go down as the official ABC Footballer of the Year votes. So David Mundy on debut.
Ooh.
Which way are we going? Let's go 1, 2, 3. We build it up here, David.
All right, well, I'll actually start with a special mention. I couldn't get him in, but I thought Shoal, especially early, was magnificent. Come in for the Nankervis, who was an out with an injury. And he was absolutely magnificent early, both in the ruck, around the ground, and a long down the line contest. I thought he was fantastic. So special mention, well done. 1 vote, Shai Bolton. We've mentioned him before, but cat-like, ball in hand, absolute silk, and finished with 3 goals. One at a really, really crucial time in that last quarter. Well done, son. Dustin Martin led the way in possessions for Richmond with another 3 goals. But his ball use through the middle, especially linking the mids with the forwards, inside 50s, he was putting it on an absolute platter a few times, so really stood out. And Darcy Parish, which we've sung his praises already tonight, but an absolute standout across the game.
So, Sharad, do you want to say what your votes were? Or do you want me to say them? I think you should say them. I don't want to steal your thunder.
So I couldn't give any mentions, but I would have definitely would have given a mention to Shoal as well. I thought he did play a really good game, and like you said, set the tone early. He was just getting around the ground really well. Another one who I'd give him a little mention to is probably Cox. I thought that Cox played a really good game for a youngster. Moves really well.
Career high 23 possessions.
Yeah, and a goal. So I thought that he contributed pretty well. But I went the other way around with 2 players. So I went Martin the 1 vote, Bolton the 2 votes, and Parish the 3 votes.
Same threes. Pretty
Same
good
3.
effort.
That's good. The other people voting in the Yukin medal tonight are Nathan Schmuck from AFL Media. 1 vote to Bolton, 2 votes to Parish, 3 votes to Martin. So there's a trend here emerging. And Carl Langdon from 6PR gave 1 vote to Langford, 2 votes to Martin, and 3 votes to Parish. So the votes for the medal, Langford with 1 vote, Bolton with 3, Martin with 6, and Parish with 8. So I think that's the first time from memory that the medal has actually gone to a member of the losing side. Darcy Parish picking it up. His first win in the Yukin award. Congratulations to him.
I was glad we didn't see a Scott Pendlebury episode.
Oh, yes. Or a Chris Judd episode.
We almost saw the Christian Petrarca episode where they didn't know who the winner was out on the ground.
Yes.
The announcement today. Darcy was kind of, is it me?
And I also think there's that awkward because there was no one allowed on the ground as the MC to call them across.
Yeah.
Everyone's standing around.
What do I do?
What do I do here? Like, do I go over there? Do I stand here? Like you don't you know, you don't want to be the guy, I'll just walk over here, I'll just take over, it's okay. I can understand why Darcy was a bit, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. It was a remarkable game of football. He certainly deserved the medal, as Ben told you. 44 disposals, quite incredible. 737 metres game, chucking 8 marks as well and 16 contested possessions. Richmond 19-9, 123 to Essendon's 12-84 in front of 55,656. The results earlier today, Collingwood will be breathing a little bit easier, I would reckon. 5-point winners over Adelaide, and Sydney over St Kilda by 9 points. In the NRL, worth updating that score for you as well. Full time, Melbourne Storm 20 have defeated the Titans 14. We'll head downstairs into the Richmond rooms when we can for the post-game press conference, and we have put in a request to see if we can get a bomber for us as well. But certainly a chance to get your thoughts. 0437 774 774 if you'd like to give us a call or send us a text, I should say. Here's a question from Derek. Richmond can arrest momentum back and go on to win. What could a side like Carlton, who can't stop opposition momentum, learn from the champs if they were to have a look at it tonight?
Well, I think Grimes summed it up perfectly. It's about sticking to your process. You don't have to do anything out of the ordinary. You probably just have to stick it even more to the basics, get back to what you know works, and have confidence in the structure, game plan, and teammates. That's pretty much what it boils down to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when teams can get behind, individuals can get really desperate, and that's when you see individuals moving away from the game plan, or maybe trying to invent
trying
to do too much, trying to put it all on themselves to really drag their team back into it or over the line. And great teams like Richmond, we've mentioned it a few times, but just have a really even spread, just do their job, win their contests, and structure up really well. And off the back of that, they just generate their ball movement.
I think it's about staying in the moment as well. You can often think about the bigger picture, which is the win or loss, but you can't affect that if you can't stay in the moment and control what you're doing at each particular moment. So a mature team is able to stay present and know what they're doing, whereas I suppose a less experienced side will just run around a little bit manically and not really stick to what they do best.
Well, they've got the legendary mindfulness coach, Emma Murray, working with them, who worked with Will Pukowski for the off-season, and he scored all of the runs, and she works with Scott McLaughlin, or did, as well, as he dominated the supercars, so she's their guru there. But we even spoke about this off-air, David, didn't we, that you spoke about just how much they trust what's happening at the contest, and you've picked it up as an opposition player. You can sense the amount of trust they have in each other, in the structure when they're playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw it in many facets tonight, both around the contest when the ball's in a bit of a scrimmage. The Richmond guys really holding their shape outside of that scrimmage, really trusting one or two guys to get it done against an outnumber. And then again, we've mentioned a few times, but really trusting each other and setting up behind the ball when they're moving the ball forward. So when Essendon were trying to move the ball out of their back 50, the Richmond backs were really positioning to the ball and trusting that guys behind them would help them if they come in longer.
I think a team that probably, in my mind, started that kind of confidence in each other is Geelong 07-9. Were just able to have immense confidence not only in each other's playing abilities, but that they were going to win the contest and then do the best thing. Like, you look at the players who were in that side. Ablett would just feed off, the guys doing the grunt on the inside, and he'd get forward, and Chapman and players like that. And I remember they had this kind of double circle structure, which was, the inside and the outside circle. So that was where I really, in my mind, that kind of structuring comes from.
This is just a bit of fun. I don't mind this from Martin of Bondi. Bolton landed like a tiger, he said. Not a cat. He landed like a tiger.
Just a large cat?
Yeah, large cat. No.
Feline.
We accept that, Martin. No, we'll take that one on board. Thanks very much for sending us a text. 0437 774 774. Don't mind that sort of stuff. This is not a bad question for those listening. Carol sends this in. From listening, who did you guys think the crowd supported tonight? I thought there was probably, and Ben called this before the game, probably 60-40 Essendon.
Yeah.
There was certainly enough Richmond supporters, but I would have said 60-40 to the Bombers. Is that fair?
Yeah, I definitely feel like and maybe it was because they're the underdog as well.
So the neutrals would be...
Yeah, the neutrals are
gonna
getting
cheer for
behind the underdog.
Yeah, I think so.
It definitely felt like there was a bit of
There's also that
atmosphere
point
when they started getting that momentum going.
if you are a neutral, like a lot of people in the ground would have been, you're cheering for the game.
Exactly.
And so therefore, if they're down by that, for them to surge back, I think a lot of people were really cheering Essendon to storm home.
Well, I thought the loudest part of the game was when Cale Hooker kicked that goal and picked up almost every teammate while he was pumping his guns.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really passionate moment. I thought that was the loudest of the game.
It was and we mentioned before, it was a Essendon home game as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they did a tremendous job. Well done to the AFL. And well done for the Bombers. They actually turned Perth Stadium, which you have the ability to do so because of the LED screens and how good they are, but it looks like a Bombers home game. And congratulations to them. By the way, I think it was Dan who sent the text in saying, why are they wearing, when it's their home game, the white shorts? I can give you no more information. I did ask the question. And
no response?
Oh, no. The person we spoke to, the media person, did say they were trying to find out, just haven't been able to find out.
Is it just because...
It looks better?
Well, yeah, Essendon's Indigenous round jumper is predominantly red. Maybe it just didn't go all that well with the black shorts. They thought this is a white shorts jumper, and Richmond got to wear the black shorts. I don't know.
This is a white short jumper. I like that.
Well, it's...
No, I agree. I think it did look good.
It's like Sydney never wear the white shorts, do they? It's only the red. So some jumpers are just kind of... That's just what they go with. Fremantle, when they made the grand final in 2013, had the option to wear their purple jumper, but Steve Rossich and the executive decided, no, when we wear our white shorts, we wear our white jumper with it. And so they wore the white jumper on that grand final day. So maybe it's something like that, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm clutching at straws.
I thought you just thought you were Ben Cameron fashionista. I don't mind that either.
I'm fascinated with jumpers and jumper clashes. You know how it is.
No, and
nicknames and
on a completely random topic. You can tell it's late in the night. We're getting silly. I do wonder why, and credit to Fremantle and credit to Brisbane, why teams, now that the Sir Doug Nicholls round is over 2 rounds, why don't they have a home and away Indigenous jumper? Yep. Like, it doesn't seem to be that hard. And there's the pragmatic part of me that also says you can sell more jumpers too.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure why certain teams only decide to have the one Indigenous jumper. It seems like a great opportunity to have an away jumper. I thought Brisbane looked terrific. And again, I think Fremantle's away Indigenous jumper looks terrific as well.
I thought they looked a little bit like Gold Coast.
A little bit. But it's just the white takes over the red of the Fitzroy. So you're thinking because you've got the FFC on the front, looks like where you've got the GC for Gold Coast.
And also I accept colourway, and the colourway is a little bit as well.
I think it's a valid point, particularly last week. It was Melbourne who there was too much of a clash and they weren't wearing their Indigenous jumpers. So I think it's a valid point.
Yeah. Royal Blue and Navy Blue, I'm not sure a clash, but...
There wasn't a clash there. There was no clash there.
They didn't run that one by you, Benny?
No. Well, on Corbin and Ben, which you can find under the Best of Grandstand in the podcast store, Corbin actually pitched for that job at AFL House this week. He said, I think I was born to do this role. I can do it in one afternoon a week. Yep. Just to avoid clashes because people get so arced up about it. He thinks it's no one's job. And they just sort of say, Tuesday afternoon, have we picked the jumpers? They're going to wear their home and their away. And sure enough, we roll up and we get these clashes or issues on game day, like where Melbourne are expecting to wear their Indigenous jumper and they can't.
I'm going to try to just drag this back to some level of sensibility, which is ridiculous because I've sent us down this path. But we've got some of the press conference. The Richmond Football Club, here's their coach, Damien Hardwick.
Damien, what an amazing spectacle. I mean, first of all, the last 7 goals, whatever it was, did you move any magnets or who sort of really ignited that run home, did he?
Oh, I think there's some players that certainly lifted in that last quarter. You know, Shea I thought was pretty special in that last 10 minutes where we kicked those 7 goals. But, look, the game sort of ebbed and flowed. You know, there's various stages we were on top of the post-clearance contested ball count, and then Essendon were. And unfortunately, it was a bit of not an error on my part, but we sort of knew Essendon would push hard forward at three-quarter time into the last quarter. And I sort of forgot to mention that to the players and probably caught us off guard a little bit with regard to our preparation defensive setup for that. So I was a little bit disappointed myself, but the players got it together by the end, and we managed to get the result, which is a lot better.
Just looking at the points from turnover, I think you're over 100 tonight. What was the secret behind that? Is that all your system really standing up, or what was the key to that?
Well, I think we're one of the better scores from turnover sides. We've probably been giving up a few scores, which we don't normally do, and we've always been a side that relies and understands it's a turnover game, not a stoppage game. But I think there were relatively few stoppages tonight. But I thought we moved the ball particularly well at various stages. Probably tried to overdo it every now and then, but I thought the guys, to their credit, hung tough and moved the ball pretty well throughout the night.
And just a sort of technical one, I think you're on the red eye to Sydney. Will you be allowed to go to the SCG tomorrow to watch the Eagles? Have you sort of got any confirmation on that?
Look, I wouldn't. I'm not too sure, but we won't go. From our point of view, we get vision behind the goal, so we generally watch it on that and watch it pretty thoroughly from an oppo scouting point of view.
The purpose of the First Nations Women's Pathway program is to identify and support Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander girls throughout our BFOW and AFOW programs. Although this is a football talent pathway, we are also committed to the growth and development of these young women.
I'm not sure this is exactly what we were expecting to hear, so we might just pause for a moment. There's a little bit of stuff coming through as we attempt to do our best to take some of the Damien Hardwick press conference. I'll glance to the back of the room and Marty will give me a nod in the right direction when it's all ready to go again. I think we've sorted out the audio. Let's go back to Damien.
How did you see
Hardwick.
Charles' performance tonight, Damien? He started off superbly and looked like he did a great job in the ruck.
Yeah, I thought he started off really well. He's a guy that's learning the rigours of AFL. Like he said, he's been in our system for a fair amount of time. But, when you're asked to play the number one ruck role, it's a very, very challenging role. And he probably did tire towards the end. That's something we'll look at moving forward. But I thought him and CJ were pretty proficient in their task tonight and really rewarded the team with their efforts. So we were pretty pleased with both those guys tonight.
And just one on Prestia, unfortunately, it looks like he's hurt himself again.
This is the direct feed that's actually coming out of the Zoom press conference with Damien Hardwick. Here he is again.
He came off complaining of the tightness, so we'll see how that goes during the week. Once we get more information, we'll pass that on.
Damien, what did you make of the occasion with the big crowd in Perth?
Yeah, it was incredible. I thought the game reflected the event, really. It was a terrific game, and I thought the way the WA people got behind it was unbelievable. This is an outstanding stadium to play. It's got such great atmosphere. It's got a great vibe. We really enjoyed playing here, and I think the people will walk away, and the people back home will look at it as a great spectacle for the game. And once again, we're very honoured and privileged to play in this game, and we love it. It's one of the big calendar events for us, and we're glad we paid it homage tonight.
Damien Hardwick, these things do happen as press conference. They're a bit different in quarantine, but we appreciate the AFL for letting us tune in to Damien Hardwick's press conference when we can. About to wrap things up here, about 3 minutes to go, and repeating if you've just joined us, the result: Richmond 19-9, 123, 39-point winners over Essendon 12-84. For the moment, the Tigers move up from 8th into 7th. That may change tomorrow with the result of Carlton versus the West Coast Eagles. We had a couple of people just saying, what are the games tomorrow? Well, Carlton taking on the West Coast Eagles across in Sydney, which is an interesting one at the SCG, because after you see a crowd like this, you wonder if Carlton could have made a bit of money and brought the game across to the West. So that's 13th versus, what is now 8th in the West Coast Eagles. And then Fremantle, David Mundy in action tomorrow. We'll bring that game to you from 4:20 local time. Fremantle versus the Western Bulldogs, which will be an enormous challenge for the Fremantle Dockers. How will they go up against, if not the best, certainly one of the best midfielders going around? Good luck tomorrow, David. I'm not being facetious. I say that. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
I reckon David will probably have one of his better games, having not had to worry about putting the kids to sleep and stuff tonight.
Be lovely to be home and then being asleep.
Just stroll in, head on the pillow, get a good night's kip.
And knowing you boys will be nice to me tomorrow, it makes me sleep a bit nicer.
Always nice to people in the family, there's no doubt about that. One last one for you in 30 seconds or so. To the Essendon supporters who are still tuning in and listening around the place, what does it do when we thought they'd taken a major step last week, and it, for all intents and purposes, appeared they had? How will Ben Rutten respond in the next week or so after that effort in the final term?
I think he'll focus on what they did really well throughout the game. I think they'll focus on the fact that they were going up against the reigning premiers and were What did they get 3 points up? 3 points up with 11 minutes to go. That's going to be their focus during the week.
Absolutely, and it's been an incredibly challenging time for them in particular. They've been in Perth all week, and the disruptions that causes within the football club, but then in their lives outside of it, I don't think can be underestimated. So I think it was a gallant fight back, and plenty to look forward to and plenty to be positive about.
Sharad Willingham, good to see you as always. David Mundy, great debut. Look forward to seeing you both in the next couple of weeks. Well done to Ben Cameron, to Ashley Nelson downstairs, to Aaron Harwood in the studio, and to Martin Roth, who pushes all the buttons and keeps us on air. Thanks very much to everyone here on Grandstand AFL. Richmond, a thumping win, 39 points the good over Essendon, though the Bombers were right in it until the dying stages. Tomorrow, Carlton versus the West Coast Eagles and Fremantle versus the Western Bulldogs. Full coverage of both of those games. Of course, Corbin will have Grandstand AFL for you getting started early on, and then join us for the Sunday Footy Forum with Mark Duffield and Jake Knoll. Thanks very much for your company wherever you've been listening. Grandstand AFL to continue tomorrow. For tonight, the Tigers will celebrate an 11th straight win over...
Hello everyone, H.G. Nelson here with a quick reminder that Bludging on the Blind Side is ABC Grandstand's highlight. Noon on Saturdays, I'll be there with rampaging Roy Slaven. Roy, what can the public expect?
Well, rugby league is fiddling with the rules of rugby league. The public should be consulted. The only show that consults the public is the public show, Bludging on the Blind Side.
Yes, if you want football drivel loud and clear.
Bludging on the Blind Side, back on your radio, Saturdays from midday, and on the ABC Listen app. ABC Sport Digital Radio, your home of NRL.
They can't try diss me. They don't like the vibe I get on. Can't take me for a ride like get on. No, they're not bad, so we don't get on. Please check the nerves I get on.
This is Corbin and Ben, ABC Sport across the country. I'm very pleased, Ben, to say that we are now being joined by an Olympic champion. His name is Kyle Chalmers, of course, winning the 100 free back in Rio, and he joins us on Corbin and Ben across Australia. Kyle, thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Now, the reason we have you on is, of course, the Amazon Prime documentary series, which is about to be released, coming up, of course, on the 4th, which is tomorrow, for those of you that are listening live, called Head Above Water. What are we expecting to see as part of that series?
I think it's just a really good insight into the world of swimming. It's a sport that probably people pay attention to every 4 years when the Olympics is on, but they don't probably see what goes on behind the scenes in our day-to-day life. So I think, people who probably don't have a whole lot of interest in swimming will be able to watch it and enjoy it and just find out some